Hello. You know how you have one of those days where you thought you set it at 8:30 to start and actually you set it for 8 o'clock, so everyone's been waiting for like 30 minutes? That's one of those days that I'm having today. I totally didn't realize I set it for 8 o'clock, not 8:30. Probably in the back of my mind I was trying to start earlier. So, you know, eventually one of these days I'll be early and I'll shock you all. I will shock and surprise everyone on stream. How are we doing? That's the excuse. It's never an excuse. An excuse is only an excuse if it's not with any legitimate reason. I had a legitimate reason. I just, you know, don't call it an excuse, call it ineptitude. There you go. That's the good way of doing it. How was everyone's weekend? Did you pull anything interesting? You know, did everyone like go for the epic for the Panda fusion? I did in the end. I was on the fence about getting some shards because I was close. It's the first time I've bought shards in 4 months. But I just, you know, with Vegas coming up, I was like, I can't. I have to. The time I can save by not having to do half of the events was so good. So I kind of bought a few shards. Got Akimtum, nice. Yeah, I was close. I was about 1,200 or 1,300 points. So in the end, I was just like, it's such a time saver, and I've got a very busy month because I've got to get videos prepared for when we're away. We've got to get obviously prep for Vegas. There's a whole week that I'm not in, and there's a bunch of other things I'm working on at the moment. So I wanted to save the time so I didn't have to farm mainly the silver. So I've got an option now, basically. I can either skip. Actually, we need to have a look at it. We might have a look at it in a second. So we might have a look at what I'm going to skip. So he pulled Trunder. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Trunder in Hydra is it's actually a lot harder to set up than you would think. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Trunder needs to be nerfed equally as Cadaver. Trunder's a lot harder to set up than the Cadaver team, because you normally need the resets and you normally need the right amount of damage. If you can't actually do enough damage to blow up a head, then Trunder is not going to work. So it's a lot harder to make Trunder work versus someone like a Cadaver, where Artak will work in very average gear, you know? So, got Stultus Dragonbane. He's very good. Stultus is so good. Dude, you have 5,000 items in the forge. Just forge and sell. Maybe. It's the time commitment, though, for that, right? It takes a lot of time. Got Vitreous. Congratulations. Or commiserations, I should say. You finished the rush and the mystery shards along the way. Got 2 of the rares. Yeah, a lot of people got some of the rares. I didn't get a single one of the rares, which I was quite annoyed at, really, because that's normally a good time saver as well. So, what do you want? You've had treats. You don't get any more. Don't you meow at me. No. The cat has discovered that she can climb the bookshelf, which is not terrifying whatsoever because the bookshelf is right next to the stairs. And I have this vision of the cat trying to get off and slipping and then falling down the stairs. I know cats drop on their feet naturally, but it's still terrifying to watch. It's a very disturbing situation. Got Beauregard the Elder. Beauregard's one of those champions that's very unique, but I never see much of him. Let's turn the music down a little bit. Cadaver teams do, but there are budget versions, right? You can run Lanicus versions, you can run lots of different options. What I'm saying is, once you have the right champions, Cadaver is quite easy to run, whereas even if you have the right champions for Trunder, you still need the right setup. It's quite hard. Is 277% crit damage too low for certain ways? Well, it depends on the wave, and it depends on how that 277% is framed. Is that 277 with Savage Cruel? What kind of star rating? I mean, it's very subjective. What would be the main stats for running Trunder and Hydra? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I tried to build it, find it quite hard. So, what's the cat gonna do? Well, my mum's gonna be cat sitting, so She'll have to entertain herself. Hopefully she won't destroy it. I've been away before. I've been away for like 3 weeks before the time, so she'll be perfectly fine. So I'd imagine the sad face John was talking about is he didn't get his Acrisia. And Marichka's probably the only valuable one out of the two there, out of the three. Yeah, Vitreous is okay. Vitreous, like, what I will say about Vitreous is he is very good counter to Leo and Rotus with a lockout, right? In live arena, he's probably more valuable than not. The cat's ran out now. You've missed her. She's gone. Yeah, so I think Vitreous, he is actually a very good counter to like the lockout into Rotus, right? Because what you'll do is you'll basically grant him an extra turn, then both of his A1 and his A3 are double hits, and they will kill a Rotus as long as there's no Stone Skin, and nobody really runs Stone Skin Rotus, to be honest. So, you know, if there's an ultimate Death Knight up, yes, it causes problems, but the second hit should carry through onto the Rotus, so it's kind of like, you know, just have to see how it goes, I guess. But is he amazing? No, but there is like a legitimate case that he's a good option to run in. Like if you ban the ultimate Death Knight and let the lockout go through, then you're guaranteed to get a turn so long as the lockout doesn't kill him, which it shouldn't really do. And then you basically come in and you take out the nuker. The only thing is, if it's a Leorius nuker, then you're RNG and whether you get the A2 or the A3 back, right? That's the only downside. If you don't get the A3 back, then you can't kill the Leorius because you can't ignore the unkillable, where the A3 will. The A2 damage is just so low. To be honest, I wouldn't use the A2 anyway because it's a sheep magnet, but the damage is just really bad. It's like a 3 times multiplier. It's so painful. Do you know that Lydia and Knut can one-tap Minnow? Probably. But this is my standard setup. Knut can't one-tap the waves, can he? So, is Watcher of Realms the best alternative to raid until Fateless drops? Now I haven't played Watcher of Realms. I'm only going off what people are telling me. Hellhades is having a lot of fun with it. YST has been playing it, but he's starting to hit a bit of a wall. I've been playing Dragonair. I am still having quite a lot of fun with Dragonair. But Dragonair also has similar wall issues where, like, the main problem in Dragonair is you want to farm the gear, but in order to farm the gear, you need the gear to farm the gear, but you can't get the gear to farm the gear. So you're in like this weird situation where essentially you have to overinvest in a champion so that the champion themselves are stronger, so you can farm the gear, and then you use the gear to make it better a little bit, I guess, which I suppose is okay. But what it just ends up being is this weird situation where you're like, I can't really beat it. It's also very champion specific a little bit. The thing with Dragonair, unlike Raid, for example, you could pick up Constantine and use him universally. With Dragonair, because of the element system, you kind of need to index, and the way they've constructed the champions a little bit, you have to invest in the element and the role that you're playing. So for example, they have rally champions. The rally champions gain loads of benefits if they get rallied. In order for them to get rallied, they need to be paired with other rally champions. So you have to invest in the rally role. You can't just throw one rally champion in and expect it to work. Same with Usha, who's a frost champion. So I think there's some issues with Dragon as well. I actually don't think there is a game out there that can compete with Raid still. Because the one thing I was afraid of with Watcher of Realms, and a little bit with Dragonair, is once you get through the honeymoon phase, once you start playing, you know, for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you get the first, like, is there enough depth? Is there enough content there? And that's kind of like where YST said he was hitting the wall a little bit. He was like, he didn't know what to do anymore, right? He was doing stuff, but he didn't know why he was doing it. And I do worry about some of these games in terms of, like, the initial launch is great, but is there enough content depth to make it work? I mean, Dragonair is a bit dumb because the Krakens have got so strong that it's not even funny. Like, you know, Arsalan is playing Dragonair and he's like just farming the top stage of dungeons in 30 seconds, and I can't even beat stage 4 at the moment because he's got every legendary under the sun. So, you know, Yeah, Dragonair is season based, so you keep your heroes, but it resets the game back to level 1. So it will keep it like fresh, which is a bit like how like Diablo works, right? So it will keep it fresh. Now, the only thing I don't like about the seasonal thing is they've tied like rewards to whoever finishes everything first in the season, right? So the first person to like beat Dungeon 9 gets bonus points when the season ends, and I don't really like that. I don't really like this kind of like leaderboard situation with seasons. It depends what's in the shop. If it's all cosmetics, then I don't really care, I guess. But it leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth when basically because they've spent £100,000 or whatever stupid amounts of money these crackers have spent, you actually lose out on a shop. You know, it's fair enough finishing number 1 in Arena. I don't really care about Arena, but like actually getting access to content that you don't have because they've whaled is a bit silly to me. So, I mean, we are planning to try and mitigate all of these issues. The good thing is we have awareness of these issues, right? So we know pretty much walking into it where the issues are going to be. Like, we can plan and develop the game knowing the pitfalls that other games fall into. I'm sure there'll be situations which we overlook, or maybe we have to go some way because it needs to work. But certainly things like, player arc is, player progression is a big deal. It's way too early for us to talk about Fateless. It's going to be months before we, probably years before we get the game out, like a couple of years. So, but we have a good development plan. So it's not like we're not working on it. It's just it's going to be a process. But we are lucky in the sense that we've collected all of the best minds, all the best experiences, all the best people we possibly can to make it avoid these common pitfalls. So yeah, I'm doing masteries here for Isling because I want to try and get a Hydra team run on this team tonight, ideally. So I've been just blasting some masteries here so we can at least get a little bit done. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against having Kraken content, CJ. What I'm against is making things locked out because you managed to buy your way to the top. There'll always be an element where you want to buy your way to the top, but there's ways that you can balance the game around what the top means and actually structure it better. What I'm saying is having a system where essentially they get access to a shop and you don't because they managed to complete something first is a little bit against what I like as a player, because essentially it excludes the player from content because of spending, and that is paywalling. You never want to paywall a game. Payment should be paying to progress. I should be able to get to the same tier of a Kraken, I just can't get there as quickly, right? So a Kraken might be able to get there in a week, and then as a result I'll have to take like a month or two. That's what a payment model should be, that everything is accessible. It's why Raid has been so successful for so long. A lot of people will sit here and say Raid is very pay to win. It's only really become pay to win in the last 6 months, but for a very long time Raid used to be exclusively pay to progress. You could do Doom Tower with daily login champions. You could do Clan Boss with all the right champions. Yes, okay, you needed some champions that you had to pull, but generally the champions you pulled could do the content you needed to do. It's only been the last 6 months that Raid has gone right down the paywall side. Like the Prism system, making it so you can't even summon without buying. That type of content. That's the content I really don't like as a player. I don't like it when the only way is to pay. Diablo Immortal, when they had the gems, the only way to do it is you have to buy the gems. There's no way to farm it. I want it to take me years. Whatever it is, it should take me as a free player time to achieve it. So the incentive is buying to speed up the game because I'm enjoying it, not buying so that I can actually play or be part of the winning, So, personally, yeah, I've got a question about a certain champ. Fire away, Reckoning. Vitreous face kind of freaks me out, John. His face is weird. Yeah, the head is weird. The face is weird for Vitreous. Hey, Sota, how's it going? Yeah, I've not been using my Constantine a lot at the moment because he's built too slow for live arena. So I've been preferring Phenax because the meta has shifted away like there's risks with Constantine, right? Because this passive only works with everyone if Vlad's in the team. If it's not, it's still a good coverage of champions in terms of Night Revs, Demon Spawn, and Undead Hordes, but the meta's moved towards like Bannerlords and Sacred Order. If you think like Cardiel, Marichka, Taras, Leorius, they're not these factions. So if Vlad gets banned, he's not as consistent as Fenax. So even though he has more utility than Fenax, Fenax has more consistency. So, and I've also built him like slow at 160 speed. That's too slow for Live Arena. So I've not been using him as much as I've been using Fenax. Are you enjoying manual minnow farm? I don't use my auto battles, and I don't use... I'll sometimes put on RSL Helper, but because we're talking, I'm just clicking it. It's fine. We'll be doing the gear cleanse in a minute. I wonder how much of my 50 million I'll still have after I do my gear cleanse. Be brutal, right? Which content is there that you can't do free-to-play right now except for that one-time Prism? Well, I would argue you can't really do Hydra Clash last FFW because you need the Cadaver team, and that Cadaver team requires very, very specific champions, and if you don't have it, you lose, pretty much. I would say that Arena, you can't really progress or play anymore because unless you have Taras Marichka with a +4, you can't really compete at the top end of Arena. Now, obviously, throughout the evolution of Raid, Arena has always been very difficult unless you spend money, but it's never been so pay to win that, you know, people like MacChan are saying it. You have to spend £1,000 a month to just remain relevant. It's different. You know, back in the day, there used to be strategies like you could run a blender team if you had very good, you know, champs. You could, you know, outspeed someone if you had good gear. You can't really do that anymore because the mitigations that they've put in place in terms of the speed meta and the champion power means that if you don't have the Void Legendaries, you cannot do, like, you can't compete at the top Arena. So that's paywalled. Pretty much fast high-end dungeons require Riho, requires Acrisias. So that's kind of paywalled. Now, I will say that 80% of the content that existed before 6 months ago is absolutely free to play. But what I'm saying is, within the last 6 months, they have very much moved towards this. If you want to compete in anything, you have to pay lots of money. And that's pay to win. It's a paywall they've put in place. You know, like the Prism system, for example. Not the last one, the one before, you physically couldn't summon anything without buying. Does White Dried Nia heal depend on the max HP left or the amount of debuffs? It's actually debuff specific, Racket, because it cleanses, it will prioritize debuffs, and then if someone's on low HP, it'll prioritize the low HP. So it kind of does two checks. It's checking, do I need to cleanse someone, or do I need to heal someone? If it's in a neutral state, aka no debuffs and no healing, it will just target the leader. What speed do I run Fenax? I think it's like 210 is my Fenax. I do have a question. Is it worth building a poison explosion team if you already have Seer team? It depends on the content. Like, the good thing with poison teams is you can run Xavier, Elenarl, and not require a reset, Francis. So if you don't have reset champions, but you have an Elenarl and a Xavier or two Xaviers, and you have the right setup, then potentially you can run an explosion without a reset. You know, most people run like double Calvlax, double Theodore, for example. So there is reasons why you would do it over Seer. Yeah, RSL Help is an auto clicker, so I wouldn't have to keep clicking replay. I'm actually letting myself decay in Live Arena. I want to get back down to silver because I want to win a few silver matches just so I can get the last upgrade for finite speed, and then I'll stay in gold. I'm just in gold at the moment. Hey, Sabrab, question about the team optimizer and faction wars. Do you guys plan to add a filter to see what teams... Yeah, I looked at it, Bogdan, for the recent mobile update. I don't think we're recording the 3-star. I need to check in with the team to see if we can add it, but it's certainly on my list of things that we want to do, like on the backlog. So I don't think it does it at the moment, but it should do, absolutely. What's better to pair with Seer, Archmage Helmet or Ghost Spawn? Well, Ghost Spawn will give you 100% consistency on decreased defense, apart from affinity, right? So as long as he's normal affinity or strong affinity, he'll always place decreased defense. Helmet will always give you 3 buffs. So they're both equally consistent. It just depends if your Seer is capable of killing waves without decreased defense or not. I actually have a video coming out in the next couple of days, which is going to give you my month's worth of soul earnings, right? I basically recorded every single soul reward in the game, events, Hydra, Iron Twins, tournaments, summoning, and I did it to basically assess this question you guys are talking about right now, right? It's something that came out of Cyrilla's interview, which I thought was a pretty good topic. This concept that the justification they give you is, well, we give you lots more stuff, right? The concept of play to earn, in that sense. In the sense that you're playing the game, and as a result, you're earning rewards. My kind of take on that is, well, you need to earn to play first, right? They've made the model where if you play the game, you will earn stuff. But actually, in order for you to earn that stuff, you need to have it already, right? So, for example, if you want to get the soul stones from the event, well, you have to commit energy. In order for you to get that energy, you have to play you see what I mean? So you're earning to play, but actually you're playing to earn. Or the other way around, so you're playing to earn, but you need to earn it, have it to play it. It's kind of like a bit of a paradox, or whatever the right word is. It's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean. What I'm saying is, like, it's fine enough for them to sit there and say, well, we're giving you loads of energy and we're giving you loads of stones in the events and everything. It was like, well, yeah, that's fine, but you're also inflating the point requirements for everything by 3,000, so by 30%. So it's like, sure, I can go for every fusion still, but I have to spend 5 million more silver per artifact enhancement event. I have to do an extra 500 dungeon diver points. So that 500 energy you've given me is being removed because I have to spend that 500 energy anyway. This is not really the same thing. It's kind of like a PR move to basically say, well, we've solved the problem because we've given you more rewards. It's like, yeah, but those rewards cost you twice as much to get, so have you given me anything at all? You know? It's like the UK government, for example. The UK government didn't raise your taxes, but what they did do is not continue the pattern where they lifted the tax threshold. So essentially, you earned 1% more money in a pay rise, for example, and that 1% wasn't reflected in the tax reduction that they normally do, so you end up paying more tax. So by default, they've raised the taxes without raising the taxes. They just haven't actually raised the taxes. It's very clever the way they do it. It's all about optics and PR. So the way when they come out and say, oh, well, we give you so many raw rewards. Yeah, you do. But that doesn't mean that the rewards you're giving me is sufficient for the requirements that you've now set for me, right? Now, I will say I don't agree that there needs to be an energy cap limit. I think 130 is fine. And I do feel like they give us fair amounts of rewards. I don't think they've given us enough to warrant a 33% increase or whatever in like artifact enhancement and dungeon divers. But I don't think we're at a position where like, oh, we need 150 daily energy cap, right? Or something like that. I don't really think we needed that. I think we always get enough in the game to actually do what we need to do. It's just, do we have enough in the game to do what we want to do or what they want us to do with it, right? That's the question, really. Benzaval, no spoilers. I'm going to watch it after we finish streaming. I've told Neva, who's a Man United fan, and we often talk about football, not to give me any spoilers about it either. So, some weeks ago, I made a suggestion on introducing a Hydra team builder, not the team finder. I mean, that's very difficult, right? It's something that some people have asked for. They basically want an AI team finder, right? Which is not what the team suggestions does. The team suggestions is basically a historical database, right? You run a team, I give you the results. That's kind of like what it does. It doesn't imagine a team based on the champions you have. That's a very different and much more complicated tool. That requires it to understand what you need in the champion balance. Now, you know, you can code something as simple as at least one, but that's not always going to work because it might recommend a team that's actually more complicated than you need to. You know, and it doesn't really take into consideration the quality of your gear either. So is that another issue that we need to consider? It's very difficult to have an AI team when there's 861 or is it 812 or 13 different heroes in the game, different champions in the game, right? It's very complicated. So I think, you know, it would be a lovely scenario. No, that's what I meant. I actually drafted a concept in it, which I added a clip in the Discord. Did you DM me that, Shooter? If not, DM me and I'll have a look after. I may be thinking of something else. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they haven't increased the artifact storage, CJ. I think they actually think the server wouldn't handle it. Or the game client can't handle it, because it lags to hell if you've had the game open for a while. You know? What should you do for Seer? I'll show you right now. Just open it up. Just make sure it's displaying the correct thing. Yeah. So if you want to do a Seer damage, this is what you should do. Why is that sorted like that? There you go. How I optimize Seer is this. A3. Primary maximum bonus. Include set whatever you want up here. Pick a target. I pick Fire Knight normally. It's the hardest wave. You can put buff multiplier in here if you want. So you have how many buffs you're providing it. Does the target have decreased defense or weaken? If it does, put those in here. If not, take it out. Then pick a minimum speed, like it could be like 210, whatever you want. I generally say 200-ish, give or take. Pick your slots that you want. Pick your sets that you want. Don't worry necessarily about damage. You don't need to put any Savage or Cruel for here. It'll figure that out yourself. Put any glyphs and then optimize on that. Right, so you're basically saying pick A3 for this target here. Include all equipped, and then just put your speed. You don't need to put anything else. If you want accuracy because you want to strip the buffs, then set the required accuracy. I don't do that. But that's how I set it up, and you can see that's how I got 346 crit damage. So that's how I do it. Yeah, we've got an adventure film soundtrack tonight. Yeah, I did see the flash offer for silver. I was like, wow, someone's really, you know, kind of crazy. What I will say is, everyone say a prayer for Playroom right now. They didn't do a summoning event today, and we haven't heard anything about a summoning event tomorrow. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if they're like under the weather. There's a flu bug going around. Maybe the guy who decides what summoning events that goes on is just like taking a breather. But we have no summoning events for like 2 days. 2 days. It's unheard of. I don't know what's wrong with them. Just souls tomorrow. What do you mean souls? Souls? There's no souls? Oh, it's a soul chase tournament. Oh, I didn't see this. Oh, that's good. I've actually got a big stockpile of those. I was been wondering when I was going to get them. Look, I've got loads to summon. Naturally, I still haven't got the Whisper. Every day I log into the game. Every day I stay. Sometimes I stay up till 1 a.m. just to check if I'm going to get a Whisper. I never get a blimming Whisper. It's painful. I'm frustrated with it. So frustrated. It's like, you know, terrible. You may be wondering why I'm wasting all my energy right now. I actually don't need to do the dungeon. Actually, I was going to look at that. Let's have a look at that. Actually, let me have a look. Okay, so does Dryad Nia prioritize debuffs or Dying Champion Array 2? I don't know whether it's debuff over HP, but I know that the debuffs are a factor as well, reckon Nick. So it could be if there is a neutral health situation, then it prioritizes debuffs. I don't know which one comes first. I'd imagine HP comes first because of the heal. But I just wanted to mention that I 100% know that if there's a debuff on the target, it will pick the champion with the debuffs to cleanse it. So I honestly don't think there's much benefits to Mitra. Like, the chase is probably worse than the rush, because at least the rush, you know you're going to guarantee your points, whereas chase is very subjective. Hero's Path tends to be somewhere between a chase and a soul rush, but there's not that much difference between a summon rush and a chase, to be honest. It just depends if you get lucky. If you get the legendary, then you save a ton on the chase. Whereas obviously you wouldn't on the Rush, right? The Rush is just pure volume. So what I wanted to work out is I have got the Epic, I have done the Dragon Tournament, Training Tournament, Summoner Rush, Dungeon Divers, and I'll be doing the Artifact Enhancement tonight. I've done the Arena and I've done the Ice Golem. So we've pretty much got 3 of the Tologs already. So I can skip this Artifact Enhancement, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm definitely going to skip Artifact Enhancement 2. That means that I don't need another Tolog. I can basically make the Tologs already up. Now for Torux, I'm going to be doing the Artifact Enhancement tonight because I actually have a need to do a gear cleanse. We've got so much we need to do. I got like 275 items in my inbox, so I've got to get rid of that. We haven't done any of these, so we can skip one of the longsword Toruxes. The Selenias, it's just a choice. Do I want to do a very, very long training event? No, I really, really don't. Or do I want to waste all my ancient shards for a champion chase? I don't really want to do that either. So either way, neither of these situations make me feel very good about myself. Because this is a 5-day training event, so that's going to be like 7,000 points knowing them. I really don't want to do that. I mean, that's just brutal. So maybe the champion chase is the way to go, because maybe it's only like 2100 or something, and I've got like enough ancient shards. It's times 2 ancients, so maybe it's a good way to do that. I really don't know. But so we're skipping Artifact Enhancement 2, that's for sure. Don't need that. We're skipping that one. I think I want to skip Dungeon Divers 3. But at the same time, Spider Tournament is on. It's kind of awkward because I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna do Fire Knight and Spider. So it's a question: do I skip Artifact Enhancement 3 or Dungeon Diver 2? Because I can skip Dungeon Diver 3 because we're gonna do Classic Arena and Fire Knight, and I'm gonna be doing this tonight. So we can skip Dungeon Diver 3. So the question is: do we skip either the training or the chase, and then the 2 or the 3 there? Because we can definitely skip this thing as well. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the event, this is going to be a brutal training event. It's going to be like 15,000 points. I feel it. It's like 5 days long. Earbad will tell you, when it's a training event this long, it's a chunky one. Why not skip Fire Knight and Dungeon Diver 2? Because actually, the energy investment for Fire Knight is a lot better. Like, it's going to be like 120 runs in Fire Knight. So that's more energy. It's less energy than Dungeon Divers. Yeah, I had to do a lot of the Dragon Tournament for the Legendary book Dungeon Divers, so I had to do a lot of the Ice Golem for the Dungeon Divers that is on now. I think I've done the Dungeon Divers that's on now. Let me check. Maybe I haven't. I can't remember anymore. Oh, I think I did the Dungeon Divers that finished. Because I got 3 meat carvers. I'm sure I've got 3 meat carvers. Oktoberfest End Pack. 8 million silver for £20. No. Go away. Yeah, so right now, for the fusion, I have got 2 Selenias, naturally, because we got the one from Champion Training Summer Rush. I've got a Petrifia, which I got from Dragon. And then I've got 3 Meat Carver Tologs that we got. Dungeon Divers 1, Classic Arena 1, and Ice Golem 2. And then, of course, we've got this Malkith. And we're going to get the first longsword Torux tonight. So it's just a question of... definitely can skip Dungeon Divers 3, right? I could skip Fire Knight, but I just feel like it's a waste, right? Hey, Crouch him. I mean, that's the point, isn't it, Lars? The problem is I have nothing to train. I mean, you could make a case that for the fusion you need to train them all up, but the fusion champions are not going to make up all the points requirements of the training event. It's just not going to happen. So I feel like you skip Dungeon Divers 3 here, and then you skip the chase or the event, whichever one you want. Then you skip this enhancement here, And then it's a choice between, do I skip Dungeon Divers 2 or Artifact Enhancement 3? I feel like I want to skip the Artifact Enhancement 3 because I'll be doing a lot of the Dungeon Divers because I'm doing Fire Knight. And I'm double dipping, whereas I'm not double dipping on Artifact Enhancement because Spider isn't even going to cover that because Spider is going to end before CVC starts. So that's kind of like what I'm feeling. Skip Divers 3, skip Enhancement 2, skip Enhancement 3, and skip Chase or Event, depending on what I want to do. And just do Dungeon Dives 2. What's your suggestion? So is it possible to pair her with Emic on Clan Boss since Emic taunt the stun on if other champions? I don't think it's going to be viable on auto. She's very difficult to make work on auto. Because you can't consistently rely on the damage being up. If it's in block damage, she'll work fine. But outside of block damage, she doesn't work in Clan Boss. It's very difficult to make her work. Because she'll reset the wrong champion at the wrong time and it'll break your speed tune. You are, but I don't tend to do a lot of upgrading of my artifacts in CVC, Demetra. Most of my CVC is Forge, Arena, Spider, and like Ascending and Awakening gear. I don't really do much upgrading. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, what I will say is everyone should fuse the champion during either the chase if you're going for it or CVC. But if you don't need the chase, then I wouldn't do it in the chase unless you can win a legendary book. I would wait for CVC and just get the CVC points. Because it's going to be non-personal. Is it personal or non-personal? I think it should be non-personal, right? So you should have like an easy one then with a free 30k coming in. Where are we at with these? We do need to ascend them. This is the problem now, right? I don't like ascending legendary champions outside of CVC. So we need to ascend these champions to unlock their accessories to use them in Hydra. But I don't like doing that outside of CVC because it's 5,000 points. Which are, you know, you could say, well, that's just basically 10 spider runs. But still. It's annoying. Oh, sorry. Get it right, innit? So, like, you know, these ascending to 6-star is like 2,500 points. So I've got 2 champions I need to do here. I need to ascend them to use them in Hydra, but if I ascend them now, I lose out on the CVC points. But then it's going to be like 10 days before CVC. So it's probably just better to bin off 5,000 CVC points. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. The inbox is looking a bit rough. We need to do a bit of a gear cleanse here today, so that's what we're going to start in a second. It's not great. The main, I mean, I suppose it's not really a problem waiting either because this dude's not booked. He's booked on the protection now, but he's not booked on this, and he's not booked on that, so I don't even know if the team is going to work without him being booked. Clash is, it's looking ropey because of, surprise, surprise, Corpulent Cadaver. Surprise, surprise, Corpulent Cadaver. What was it someone said in my video? Oh, not many people are building the champion. Yeah, sure. Not many people at all are building the team. Here's another one. Look. Corpulent Cadaver. Look. Corpulent Cadaver. Oh, that one's just like massive amounts of Acrisias, to be fair. And double Cupidus. Double Acrisia. That's only 164 though. Just fed up with this. Look, Corpulent Cadaver. I wonder what he's got. Oh, look, Corpulent Cadaver. Like, clear him. Corpulent Cadaver. Just clear him. Fix the problem, please. This is the problem. Our clan can't be bothered. We just can't be bothered because look at it. What's the point? What is the point? What did we do? Oh, but Elfish. Everyone in the comments of the video, if we nerf Cadaver, we're really punishing all those low clans that can build, who can finally compete with the top clans. I'm like, God, like, are you serious? Well, ascending in a champion training tournament's not that much Carnifex, but yeah, it's fair enough. It would, yeah, ascending them right now, I get nothing for it. Let's just bash out one team here. Alright, do you know what? Because we're going to come last, I actually just have no interest in doing anything but the bare minimum. Because I don't need to. Right? Don't need to do anything but the bare minimum. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the absolute bare minimum. And just get this out of the way. Yep, it's rubbish. I'm so demotivated with Hydra. I really am. I just think it's a joke, really. It would have been Islin and Suzerain Catone. Just need to do my Hydra keys, so... We're just going to do our minimum keys. I just can't be bothered. We're not going to get anywhere near the top there. We need like another like double billion, and people just don't want to do it, so... I currently lead the clan, so I'm just going to tell the... I'm actually just going to tell the clan now to tank it, so... It's just not worth the effort. I need to close this. Yeah, I was looking for a champion that could do decreased speed, and I wanted to find a better cursed champion other than my martial ed here. I wanted to put martial ed back in damage, so Suzerain kind of popped out because if I drop Cecile, I need decreased defense and weaken, and I want to bring Tumacia into the team because it's more damage. So it kind of satisfied that champion that can do decreased defense and weaken, and decreased speed, which is what we want, really. So, is Nia good in Cursed? Yeah, A1, absolutely. Any champion that has an AoE A1 is always going to be good in Cursed because you have good uptime on it, you know? So, this week, all I'm going to be doing is minimum 1 keys. I really don't care about Hydra Clash anymore. I really just don't care. And this is, you know, this is what I was trying to say in my video. This is the mentality that leads to people quitting games because they go, well, if I can't compete here, and this being one of the few end game activities, then what's the point? And I get people saying, oh, you're just salty because you don't have the team built. And it's like, well, I probably could build the team if I really wanted to. If I went and put the effort in, I could probably build the team. I just don't want to build the team. I don't want to be forced in. I don't want the game to tell me that in order for you to have fun and compete, you have to build this one team because that's the only team that can be viable. I find that really bad, personally. What are the top curse users? So, champions that AoE a lot, right? So, Martial Ed here is an excellent cursed... What? Martial Ed here is an excellent cursed champion because he's constantly AoE in. So... Iron Twins is the same, no? I mean, yeah, Geomancer is stupidly broken. Geomancer and Cursed, yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, Iron Twins is equally as bad, Donovan, I'm not going to lie. If you haven't got Geomance, it's very difficult to compete in Iron Twins. The only difference is Iron Twins is not competitive and you don't really gain much of an advantage beyond getting souls, right? Which obviously is a big deal, but you get souls from Hydra, right? You get souls from other places, so you can only get these accessories by winning Clash. And you can't really win Clash unless you build this stupid team. So it's kind of like, I don't know, self-defeating. It's just depressing, really. You know, that the only way that I could probably compete is that I have to build that team. So, hey, Augustine. How do you get rid of Scarab Shield? You've got to destroy his maximum HP. Destroy set or champions that can destroy max HP. Cursed not effect. Yeah, Cursed is like normal artifact sets. You can weak hit and still apply Hex. That's why through Poison Cloud you can still apply Hex. I mean, it's still, the Trunda teams and the Akriza teams are still pretty strong, but they're nowhere near as like universal as Cadaver, right? You can somewhat with other champions try to compete with a Trunda another team, and it's not to say that Trunda wouldn't like dominate or Akriza wouldn't dominate, but at least it's like millions, not billions, right? Whereas Cadaver is literally billions ahead of anything else. I must have reckoned now, Mullet Reaver hit like 35 billion. It's just, it's lame, you know, it's lame. Oh, I think they should balance Trunda's A2. And I think a fairly good solution is to remove duplicates. And I think that would solve a lot of the problems. Because when Akriza on a... What are you doing? Cats, honestly. I think one Akriza on its own is never going to be as dominant as two Akrizias. There are other champions like Grisor, you know, Gnu, Elhain. Not Elhain, Gnut. There's another one, Supreme Galek. Yeah, they're good, but they're nowhere near as like dominant as these teams. So I think if you basically just said no dupes, and if you said fix the Trunda's A2 so it can't crit on the second hit, then you kind of solve most of the problems. Trunda can work on Nightmare, but you need very, very, very strong gear, right? We're talking end game Kraken plat level gear in order to make Trunda work. I mean, 100% the first thing they should do is stop Yumako's resetting on cooldown, right? Yumako's A3 should not be resettable. Just like Kaima's A3 is not resettable, Yumako's A3 should not be resettable. The one-turn cooldowns like Countess Lix and Painkeeper and Emic, they're okay because they only reduce once, if that makes sense. They're a one-turn reduction. So you actually pay quite a hefty penalty. It takes a while to get back around to them. Yumiko is big enough that you don't pay a penalty, so being able to reset the Yumiko constantly is a problem. It's a problem across the entire game, and I've always said from the get-go, from day one, Yumiko should not be in a situation where she resets herself, ever. Because it's too strong. You know, there's basically about 10 changes that I would make in terms of champion balance, and the overall health of the game would be so much better. And people argue and say, well, if you nerf those champions, then, you know, people won't chase them. I'm like, people are still going to chase a Yumiko, even if you can't reset her A3. Because her A2 is dominant. Her A3 is still very good. She doesn't activate any sort of passives or different issues when she does her A3, because she's the only one that can reset without attacking. So people are still going to chase the Yumiko. It's still a very powerful champion. It's not going to change anything. Warlord, for example. Warlord shouldn't reduce his turn meter. Putting my entire skill set on cooldown is good enough for Avoid Legendary. He's the only champion in the game that can do that. That can put every single ability on a complete full cooldown. He's the only champion in the game. He doesn't need to reset my turn meter as well. That's ridiculous. On top of the fact he's got a massive shield and a block debuffs. And he's also got there's something else in his kit as well. I think it's A1 extends or something, right? It's enough on its own. It doesn't need any more. Yeah, but I think people overvalue... Like, what I'm saying about Acrizia is if you stop it so that you can't run duplicates, then Acrizia's value is not as good as someone like Gnut, right? Gnut will outdamage an Acrizia. The value that Acrizia has is if you have really, really good gear, you can do a lot of work. The thing about Acrizia is her multipliers kind of suck, right? You have to build your Acrizia quite big to get to the numbers that you require for her to be like super viable. And even the world record Acrizia team, the best Acrizia team that I've seen, which is Arsalan's team, was like 800 million. So it's still well within the realms of like, okay, well look, if you put the best person's gear on the champions with multiple Acrizias, then it does 800 million. Well, that's more balanced than 5 billion or 35 billion, you know? So it's like, you got to start somewhere. Not every, you know, yes, you don't really want to be returning back to a situation which is like, oh, well, now all it is just all Acrizias. Oh, come on. Let me get my champion out. Seriously. This is one of the changes. I don't know if anyone caught my patch notes video. Not my patch notes video. The video that I did where I was talking about... what I would do for Hydra. This thing is a problem. I don't know how much health is left. I should have a number here that says how much damage I need to do to get my champion out of this head. Because I'm hitting it over and over again. There's no bar left. Like, how much more damage do I need to do to the damn thing? Thank you. Good lord. So stupid. No, I'm currently tanking in live arena. I know I could tank by deliberately losing, but I'm trying to get back down to silver because I want to earn some silver medals before I stay in gold, because I'm on a break point for like the next speed upgrade for silver and I don't want to waste all the gold medals doing it. I'll wait another turn to get back on top of this. Luckily, we don't have to do a big key here. I'm literally just going to do enough to one key all the Hydra bosses. I can't be bothered this week. I just don't care. We're not going to win Clash, so I just don't care. I'd rather tank it. Right. Yeah, exactly. It should be a visual number here that tells me you've got to do 200,000 damage, 300,000 damage, 400,000 damage. We're going to get cleansed again, by the way. So I'm going to debuff out. Right, cleansed again. Maybe we'll eventually get on top of this. Please don't. Right, let's take away some buffs. That wasn't taking any buffs. Well, we're going to get smacked to pieces here. Right, on top of this. No, apparently not. I think we're okay now. He says, hopefully. Let's just do that. Yeah. It's very bongo-y. Oh, this Wrath Head is doing a number on me today. Thank you, I can have my chair back. I really appreciate it. Heal. I actually never remember. What's the breakpoint for hard 1 key? Is it like 20 million? I never remember what it is. I don't think a balanced game mode requires you to have champions with the same stats across the board. You need to have champion diversity. The balance is... I suppose what I would say champion balance is about having many different routes to the same outcome. So you can have an OP Acrisia so long as you have an OP Mashled or an OP Yakal, or like, as long as it's like 4 different ways to get there, then it's balanced. And as long as like you set a principle of what you expect to be the highest possible outcome, then it's balanced. You need to have skill expression in your game, otherwise that's where it goes wrong, right? People need to feel like they can flex on their opponent, that they can express their skill and beat their opponent. Whereas at the moment, it's got a little bit too much like I can express my will, my ability based on just pulling my credit card, which you're always going to get, but you can balance it, right? There are ways to do it, and there are ways not to do it. I think that's what it comes down to for me, is right now, the way they've done it is a little bit too much on the side of credit card, not enough side on skill. Because there's not enough diversity, right? You need one champion to do it all. That's the problem. Just let it run on auto now. Think we'll see anything out of Player this week? I think they just never want to change it. I'd imagine this patch will be quiet, and then I reckon they'll be gearing up for this, quote, major content piece, whatever that is. You know? Exactly, Darky. There's no reason why you can't have OP champions, so long as your balance across the board isn't extremely wide. That's my main concern, is the lack of care and attention to this game mode. They've basically released quite game-changing, what I would say game-changing mechanics in the new accessories, and then added it to a game mode that is completely unbalanced, and then gone, we'll figure it out when we want to. How can Global Leaderboard do Hard Doom Tower 100 in one turn? It's basically just a no-speed Urost. Probably. So the Urost is like 100 speed or something, and the boss just places poisons on him over and over. I'm gonna guess that's how they've done it. I've no idea how they cleared the waves, though. Are they using the Baron for the waves? If so, the Baron is a counterattack, so he's basically counterattacking with the A1. Yeah, and when he's provoked, it doesn't count as a turn. Yeah. If it's a Baron in the team, he's basically counterattacking with the Baron's A1. So that's how they used to do it. Oh, I guess, yeah, provoked that way. It's not quick, though. Can you do Cadaver without Brony? No. Cadaver is the main problem. No, CJ. You're looking at it the incorrect way. Cadaver is the problem. Because the champions without Cadaver... So, you've got 5 champions together that are not strong unless you add Cadaver. In that sense, right? So if you take Cadaver out of that flow, the team falls apart. You can take Yumiko's out of that team and put Lanicus's in. It's still strong. You can take Chris Scout and you can put another extender in. It's still strong. The only one you can't take out is Brogni. So either you balance the Brogni, which is a legendary champion, they're never going to do that, or you balance the Cadaver, which is a rare champion, they're going to do that. So it's absolutely a Cadaver issue. There's no other way to look around it. It's not a case of, oh, well, you know, you just need to balance the whole... It's a Cadaver problem. Cadaver is the champion that deals the damage, not anyone else. My opinion on the missing guaranteed legendary, they realized it was too much of a good deal, Kingston. They realized that they were giving too much away, so they stopped doing it. So... yeah, it's the Cadaver the one that creates the team damage. If you don't have Cadaver, the team is good, but it doesn't work. So it's Cadaver, it's the raw base of the problem, right? Think of it this way, right? As an example. Say like you have a driver in a car driving down the road, right? The car can go 100 miles an hour, but it's the driver that makes it happen, yeah? So what are you going to do? You're gonna cap the speed of the car so the driver can't go there? Are you going to change the road signs? No, what you're going to do is you're going to punish the driver because it's the driver that creates the problem. It's the same thing in this scenario. All those other champions might be incidental and create the environment in which it can happen, but ultimately the root cause of the problem, the fundamental flaw in the problem is the Cadaver can do 2 billion damage and it shouldn't be able to for a rare champion, so you balance the Cadaver. That's the problem. And everyone who wants to try and defend the Cadaver and say, you know, oh, well, you only... It doesn't matter. You have a rare champion doing 2 billion damage to competitive clan bosses. That is a bad game design. From every angle you look at it, from marketing. I mean, you can't even say it's good for marketing. Because you only need, like... You don't need the Void Legendaries. The Void Legendaries aren't the ones you need to get as the rare champion you need with Brogni. You can replace the Yumikos. You can't replace the Brogni. You can't replace the Cadaver. So the only one that I would say is a big deal is... The only way you could do it is balance the Cadaver or balance the Brogni. So... what is good seer speed on seer to clear Doom Tower waves? I don't actually use seer anymore, Ruz. It depends if you've got the Kaimars, right? I found if you didn't have Kaimar, I struggled with seer because I couldn't reset on the wave 3. So I ended up preferring to use a non-seer team and just clear it more comfortably. I mean, they could solve it without anything. They could just disable Clash. This problem only existed because they added a competitive game mode. If they just rework the competition and take damage out of the equation, then that would solve it as well. But they're not going to do that because that would be a significant step back. Right? Unless they come out with a brand new way of doing Clash, that's the only other solution, right? When will the game be? Actually, should we just end it? Oh, no! Oh, I pressed the wrong button! We'll do it quickly. Stupid. Why isn't there a warning sign? Are you sure you want to free regroup? Dragonair has it. When I do this in Dragonair, it pops up with a message. Are you sure you want to cancel this? If you cancel it, the scene won't be saved. Luckily, we can put it on auto probably because it's not going to be that hard. Just make sure the setup works. Just make sure the setup works so we don't get resisted all the time. So annoyed by that. I think the problem I'm kind of trying to suggest, CJ, is you're punishing the best players in the game with the best accounts because they can't compete with the Krakens. And then, like, the lower people who are trying to say, well, I don't want you to nerf Cadaver because it's the only way that I can win Hydra Clash, is because they're not building competent Hydra teams. They're building the cheese teams, right? So like without being callous and like rude and like diminish and dismissive of those lower tier clans, if they couldn't do Hydra before a cadaver, then they shouldn't be able to do it now. It's end game content. It's not designed for your, you know, the guy that's just made his first level 60, right? It's meant to be at the pinnacle of after you've done Doom Tower hard, after you've done all the dungeons to like 10 hard and different things. This is meant to be the hardest piece of content. So I've seen a lot of people saying, well, all the different suggestions you've got would punish the lower clans and wouldn't be able to get anything. I'm like, well, build better Hydra teams. And then when people say, well, I haven't got the champions and resources, well, that's part of player progression. You'll get there eventually. I was in the same boat. 12 months ago, I couldn't do Nightmare Hydra. I worked on some champions, I waited for a few fusions, I got some better teams, and I built up a Nightmare team. I get it, it's frustrating and everyone should take part, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't get rewarded for playing in Hydra. My suggestion is Hydra Clash needs to incentivize people to push higher. But it shouldn't just be handed on a silver platter because you can abuse Cadaver. Like, that's just my picture. Like, I mean, I know everyone in, like, some people in chat will probably, like, you know, downvote the guy. He's like, just, he's only crying because he can't beat the Kraken. So I'm not. My actual principal concern is game balance. My principal concern is you've got a system in the game that is massively imbalanced. You basically borderline exploit. That's how bad it is. Because you're essentially using a set of systems to completely ignore and mitigate the mechanics of a game mode. In most games, that would have been a bannable offense. You know? I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that's what would happen if you're playing like an MMO, right? If someone found a new way of actually doing tons of damage in CSGO with a sniper rifle, you get people banned if they used it, and it would be instantly bug fixed. It would be instantly resolved. It's like basically going into Valorant and you get access to a gun that does twice the amount of damage that any other gun in the game does. It'd never happen. It would get patched out. So, anyway, I don't really want to talk about it anymore because otherwise I'll just get into a rabbit warren about what should and shouldn't happen. Ultimately, it's up to player to fix it, and they don't want to fix it, so they won't. So, we just live with it and move on. Bryce, if you check the comments on a lot of the last two videos that I've done, you'll see that a lot of people have been mentioning the fact that most of my suggestions punish lower clans because they can use the Hydra Clash. They can use the Cadaver teams to compete. So. No, it's fine, CJ. I know you're not. There's two positions to it. There is the champion balance issue, and there's the system issue. And I think what you're saying is you can balance as many champions as you want. The fundamental system is still going to be a flaw, and I agree. You've made a competitive mode that's directly tied to damage, and then you've tied that damage behind Void Legendaries. So yes, I 100% agree that simply nerfing a couple of champions is not going to make everything hunky-dory and everyone's happy. But you've got to start somewhere, right? You need to start somewhere, and right now the biggest extreme is the Cadaver teams. That's in my head. I'm like, if I'm looking at the system, I've got 200 problems. Where do I start with? The biggest one. So let's start working on the biggest one and work our way back. No, you're not increasing my frustration. I'm frustrated because I looked at the leaderboard. I should never look at the Hydra Clash leaderboard in a stream. It's basically the same thing that happens in Live Arena, right? When we play it, and then there's just like Ultimate Death Knight causing troubles. Actually, I don't even think the Krakens care about Live Arena, Darky. I think the Krakens care about Live Arena to get their Fire Knight area bonuses and their Hydra area bonuses, and then get Quintus, and then they don't go back. I'm pretty sure Rats hasn't played a single Live Arena battle since he got Bobby up to 4,000, and if he has, he's done it to keep him at 4,000. I'm pretty sure most of them hit 4,000 and peace out and don't bother. Because it's not that enjoyable, right? You can't really decay in Live Arena. You just basically go in there and you play one fight. You'll never go down in value. You'll just stay where you are. Yeah, once you get everything maxed, you basically just don't go to live arena. He did he? I know he hasn't been playing much because he's still at 4,000. I think you can hit it without being a crack, and if you've got lucky, Darky. Like, as long as you've got the right champions, you're okay. Right? As long as you've got the right champions out of your minimal cracking in, you're okay. The difference is, can you actually get the champions? Right. Ross, nobody really knows. Some sort of imaginary leaderboard, I'd imagine. Yeah, most people are only doing live arena just to get some area bonuses for the dungeon running, right? So they can max out the Fire Knight, max out the Hydra, and then they're piecing out. It's better than Platinum. I mean, Dimitra, something that isn't like locked behind it, you need to be up at 4 in the morning is always going to be better, right? So it is better in that sense. It's more dynamic in the sense that you can make decisions constantly. Right, we'll go to 23 million just to make sure. It's 20 million, right? Hard is 20 million. Hard's 20 million, right? 20.4, right, done. Don't press free group. We're done. Right, I'm trying to get into the habit of trying to do like keys a bit often. I need to do 1 key a day in the week rather than leave it all to the last minute because it's too much to do 3 keys in one night. So I can do the rest tomorrow, so... Right. Hydra Clash. It's done. We're not talking about any more Hydra Clash. We're done. Hi, just trying to make a CB team and optimize. I got shown the team with Emic and instantly understood that if I can't see what... Instantly understood that I can't see what our AI speeds give me nothing. Is that okay? You need to actually, if you want to know the AI setter, you have to go into the team details. If you can't see the team details, the AI setup might be crucial to it working. That is true. Right, so I've got to clear out this mailbox, and the best time to do gear cleansing is when there's an artifact enhancement. So you can see I want to get 4,750, so we are going to gear cleanse. We have got a lot to clear. Right now my mailbox is pretty chocker full. We can try and level some of these to see if they go anywhere good. Oh, it's doubled. Is it tripled? Welcome back to the chamber of the king of triple rolling. I mean, the piece is pretty useless, but you know, this is the way we gear cleanse, right? We triple roll. I can't pull champions. This is what I've learned, right? In any game, even Dragonair, I cannot pull champions, but I can triple roll gear. That is my one claim to fame. I'm very good at rolling gear. That was a sell. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not good even if it triple rolls, but it's triple rolled, I guess. Do you know what we should have? I don't know if I can program it. Right. What we'll use is Arena Ross. I think that's gonna work. Right, so we're gonna use... Right, there you go. That's not actually the arena win-loss. Okay, that is actually how many times we triple roll today. Okay, we're going to use this counter here. I'm going to count up every single time I triple roll like this. Yeah, so we can see by the end of it how many times we triple rolled for the fun. Right, you're gonna make your own fun in this game. First things first, let's get rid of some gear. We've got a bunch of champions that I've been sitting here, down here, that have just been basically waiting to get some gear. So we're going to mule. To start the day off, we're going to mule away some of our Defiant gear and some of our other gear. Because, you know, nothing comes across as fun than muling gear. I guess we haven't even rolled this stuff. Probably kept it in case it triple rolls. Actually all right as an overall piece. We started with 50 million, by the way, guys. Let's see how much how much silver we're left with after we finish rolling gear, because it's not going to be great. It's a really bad piece. We saw that. It's going to be pretty rough, I think. This is half the problem. Let's change this sound plate. Let me just change this playlist. It's got a bit weird. Oh, triple roll. Ooh, it's nearly good. Triple roll. Well, it's not the triple roll I want. It's a little bit better. It's overall a bit better. Keep that one. These are all pieces that I'd chaos or. Triple roll. Triple roll. There you go. Look, number 2. Number 2. We're back at it. We're back at it. That is the endorsement of the game. You've got to make your own fun sometimes. Is it worth using a 6-star Tanix soul or better to sell? I would keep any 6-star soul in the vault, Wesley. I wouldn't sell it, but I wouldn't apply it. I would just hold on to it in case something comes up you need to sell it, right? If you suddenly get an urge that you need to buy a soul in the market, then you've got that asset available to you. But something might come up where Tanix is particularly good, then you've got a 6-star soul. So it's not harming you to keep it in your forge. I do this a lot. Should I chaos all this? Should I chaos all this? Hey, Seth, thanks for streaming. Would it be possible to get a sell list for RSL Help that mirrors the very strong godlike? I wouldn't recommend. At the moment, the ratings do need a little bit of an optimization because a lot has changed since we put that equation in. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. But not at the moment, Zed. Back to sea shanties. The sea shanties are in this playlist. Sure, they would put a delete button on the artifact upgrade. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Make a competition for gear rolls. What's the competition, Captain? What would be the competition? Your referral beat a mythic in arena. Did it? Oh, nice. Ascend it first. Alright. Resistance, axing, crit rate. I mean, the other stats are pretty bad. Should we just rework it? I think we rework it. I rework it. I shouldn't have reworked it. It's bad. Oh well, we'll keep it. I shouldn't have reworked it. I might be good in the future if it rolls speed. Why have I kept that piece? Let's just get rid of it. What do we got here? Oh, another triple roll. Ooh, it was close. I don't have any epic chaos ore. I am actually, has anyone noticed? I'm curious to see tomorrow if we actually get any chaos ore in the shop. We haven't had chaos ore in the clan shop for a very long time, I feel like. It's been ages, isn't it? Feels like it's been a long time since we've had chaos ore. And I do need to buy some. Because we're getting a bit low now. We're down to 14. I don't like to be low double fit, like below 20. Apparently I'm the king of double rolling on these. Another double roll? Oh, Lord above. Look at all these double rolls. Everything's double rolling. Another double roll? Ah, that one's not so great. Let me get down here. Double roll and speed? Well, double roll and actually we'll take it. Okay, Razin, you can go back into the vault. Got a lot of muling to do here. Never know when Defiant Gear is going to be good, you see? Just put it in the vault for now. Save it for a rainy day. Look at this dude. Elf. Jingle Hunter. What is he doing? You know what? You can have some Zeal gear. You can have some of the terrible Zeal gear that I've got. That for some reason I've decided to keep hold of. Have a bit of bolster as well. You go and sit on this level 16 bolster. There you go. Good. Good little Jingle Hunter. Look, have that. Have those gloves as well. Yeah, enjoy them. Take care of them. I can't be bothered doing rings right now. We'll do them after. Metal Shaper. He definitely needs a bolster, doesn't he? Give him a bit of bolstering. One day this bolster set will pay off. Everyone always judges me for hoarding gear, and then they come along and they go, "Ah, you've got such amazing gear." And it's like, yes, because I hoarded. He can get some extra stuff though. You can have... Well, let's just upgrade this. What should we get here? Triple roll? It's close. It's actually quite a good ring though. You can have that as well. Enjoy it. In the vault you go, Mr. Metal Shaper. What else we got going on here? Look at all these like level 5s that have just got chilling. Look at them all. She can go in the vault as well. You bugged me in Q1 of 2024. Yeah, don't worry. Do you think we should be able to revert the rework? I think you should have a preview and you then get to keep the previous or the new. Yes. I think that would be better. You still lose the chance to roll it again, but at least then you get the option, right? You don't waste a bad piece for the consumption of a chaos. So I think that would be better. That you basically see what it would roll to, and then you make a choice. So you see this in Diablo 4. When you re-roll a piece, and Diablo 3, it will show you 3 options, and then you get the 4th option, just keep what you've got. So you're not locked into one of those 3. So it consumes your resources, it locks it out, but you can then basically just keep what you have. And I think that would be a better system, personally. I think the current system is a little bit too, like, punishing. The King of Triple Roll. Number 3. We've only rolled, like, 8 pieces, and I'm already up to 3. What the hell? I should really... Do you know what I should be doing, actually? Every time I don't triple roll... I think we're up to, like... oops. We're at 3, aren't we? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're at, like, 6. Like, 7. Every time I don't triple roll, I'll say I didn't. So then we have a total combination, right? I think it's like 10. We'll start on 10, because I think it's about fine. Every time I roll something to 12, I'll triple roll. If I don't triple roll, we'll negate. If we do, I'll keep, you know? So we get a good estimation of how good I am at King of Triple Rolling. Well, we didn't that time. That's a fail. It'll be a fun experiment. We're doing a social experiment today. How good is my true claim as the King of Triple Rolling actually in reality? And you go Life Taker. Next comes Skull Crusher. Oh, look at this. Oh, I couldn't low roll even if I wanted to. It's one of those mythical pieces that I kept. I mean, it's good amount of accuracy and speed, actually. It's not bad. Bad worse. It absolutely could have been worse. Skull Crusher. Saf, how long should it take you to be able to hit 100 or login every day? It takes a while. I would say it takes a good year to get to level 100, unless you play it aggressively or you're player 1291 who spends about $1 billion on the game, and then you can do it in like a week. But otherwise, you'll be looking at a while. See, a lot of the gear that I hoard, you know, a lot of people criticize me for hoarding. It's good gear. It's triple rolling. It's not like it's terrible gear. I just, you know, that's a quad roll. It's just not on people I'm using it on at the moment. Look at that quad roll. That is like, if I used Ultimate Death Knight, everyone would be like, this is amazing. It's so good. I was actually tempted to re-roll that. I just don't use... Oh, that's pretty rubbish. That should be binned. That song really annoys me. Check it out on my playlist. It's alright. Luthea, you have done your job. Go to the vault. Who else we got here? Mausoleum Mage. I think Mausoleum Mage needs to take this off my hands. When are we ever going to get Mythic Chaos Orb? That's the real question I want to answer. When are we going to get Mythic Chaos Orb? I feel like it's overdue. Right, Mythic Chaos Ore. So I can actually, like, I've been selling Chaos Ore, mythical gear, because it's like, well, unless it's gonna roll well, you know, even if I quad roll or triple roll it, I've been selling it because I'm like, there's no Chaos Ore. Is it ever gonna come? We were meant to be getting re-roll ability from, what was it? The Forge stuff, the Ascension. They were meant to give us the ability to re-roll the Ascension. That seems to be lost in the ether along with the Hydra head somewhere. Yeah, it's a long time. And as I said, unless you actually pay a lot of money and actually grind the hell out of campaign, then it will take you a while. It will take you a while. It's not a rapid situation. Triple roll? Oh, I should have been doing like, I'm sure I did 2 of these. Oh, look, another triple roll. There it is. There it is, guys. Another triple roll. Remind me if I'm not upgrading when I should be. Gotta get used to this tracking. There's another King of Triple Roll in. Maybe I should just have the stream title King of Triple Roll. Maybe that's what I need to do. It's actually a bit disgusting how many times I triple roll. I feel like I need to like go sanitize myself in like a bleach bath or something from the disgusting RNG that I have. Suai, Firstborn. You can take some Guardian gear. I'm sure one day all this gear is going to be worthwhile. That's what you got to think when you're hoarding. One day, in the very near future, I'm going to have a use for this gear. And the saving of the gear, the hoarding of the gear will pay off. When there's some weird combination of champions come out and it's the best piece available. The only problem is, every so often, because I put some really good gear on my mules, I have to like rework the mules because I swap the gear around too much for content, which is in itself a problem. See, look, triple resist. You never know when that's going to be good. Gliss, triple speed. Never know when it's going to be good. We get rid of these two. Don't need those. Triple speed. Look at that. Triple speed. It's just not on anyone. Yeah, it's just like, it's not on anyone. I'll always be known as the king of triple rolling. What else we got going on here? That's a pretty good piece. How much space have we bought now? Must be loads. Oh, we bought 100. Nice. Okay, cool. So now, why am I giving... Go away, pack. Oh. Morag has been trained up. Who else? Who's going in the pit here? Glazea. Congrats, you've been nominated. So, for our initial investment, we've got, like... I was just below here, so we've got, like, 1,500 points for 3 million investment. Pretty good so far. Now we're going to get to the juicy stuff. Is the gear cleanse over? It's kind of just started, really. Give me your speed rolls. I actually got, who is it that... I was speaking to someone, I can't remember who it was, and they were flaming me because I hadn't found ascended speed boots for my Arbiter. And my argument was, my Arbiter's so quick that it doesn't matter, and it's not quick enough to warrant me having to go out of my way to do it. So, consequently, I was flamed and ridiculed for a lack of awakened speed boots. So I was like, okay, then fine, I'll just go find some. Went through, ascended 2 speed boots, got them to the speed, fully awakened it, and now my Arbiter's 394 speed. So, be careful what you criticize me for. This is all like the dungeon grind I've done for the last like 2 weeks. I've just not looked at it. Half of this will probably sell. That's the way it normally works. Pretty sure this is all like the ×3 Savage stuff we had. That I just haven't processed yet. Because I've been waiting for an Artifact Enhancement event, see? Because Artifact Enhancement is when it's the best time to do all this. Because we're doubling up. I'll only do it until I max out the Artifact Enhancement and I'll stop. It's annoying I didn't get double glut. Right then, remember the counters. Let's see what we get. First triple roll. Oof, not that one. That was actually quite bad. Now we're going to sell that. I had high hopes when it was a speed. Oh, I suppose we have to deal with that now for now. We ate these ones just in case they're good. Ooh, king of triple roll. Way! There's another one. Add it to the list. We keep going. We're already up to like 5 triple rolls. 5 triple rolls. Why have I kept this piece? It's awful. Probably in case of triple rolls. I don't trust RSL Helper. In fact, I don't even trust the in-game settings. The way I play this game is I will, every month or so, or every couple of months, I'll buy a bunch of multi-battles and I use multi-battles in-game. I don't trust any of this auto-sell functions to do what I need it to do. So I'd rather trust my own intuition and do it myself than trust some auto-selling thing that will probably break and sell stuff I don't want to do. Call me paranoid. Oh, wait, I've failed them twice. I keep forgetting to and that's the third one. I keep forgetting to press. I failed. Gotta be careful. It's alright, we caught up now. We can't triple roll this one, so it doesn't count. If it's rare, it doesn't count. It's nothing. It's no hate, but I should have contextualized that. It's not that I don't like RSL Helper. It's just I personally can't trust it because I'm paranoid and I don't understand it. I find it very complicated. So I'm not criticizing his tool. I'm simply saying, for me personally, I don't like using it. I use it often for champion training or masteries, right? If I need to just get a champion all the way through to like level 40, then I'll just set auto sell on because I don't care about campaign. If I'm doing Minotaur, if I'm doing Iron Twins, I'll do it sometimes. Oh, we're failing a lot now. We're failing a lot. We're not going to count rares because you can't triple roll a rare, right? You can double roll it. I don't really think crit damage in a resistance piece is that good, so I'll never use that. So even if I double roll, if it splits like that, we're counting that as a fail. I think that's fair. But rares we won't count. Don't tell me the thing about Chelsea. I don't want any spoilers. I'm watching it after. No spoilers about Chelsea. Ah, you already spoiled it to me a little bit. Never mind. It's not your fault. I should have said that before. I don't want to know any details though, Flatley. Not until after. I'm going to watch it after the stream. I should have said that at the start of the stream. That's my bad. Oh, we failed that one. That's okay. Honestly, it's not your fault. Normally we talk about it, but I've got it on Sky to watch afterwards. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. So... It's not that. It's just I think that they're overly complicated to set up, and I think it could be done better. So... It's just my... I said, I don't even trust the in-game ones. That's how bad it's got now. I'm very untrustworthy of all of them. So. Did you see that ludicrous display last night? Which ludicrous display are we talking about? Tag team was hard this week. I had to work real hard to keep in tag team, but I still tell you I was up all night trying to do it. Oh. King of triple roll. Whee! There's another one. There's another one. I mean, it's worth keeping, I guess. Should we see if we quad roll? Boom, 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 ba-da, ba-da, bum, 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 bum. I just went ghetto then for that. I don't know why. As I said, I can't pull champions, but I can roll gear. It's what I can do. It's what I'm good at. It's my only claim to fame. That counts for 3. Yeah. Oh, it's just... It's actually incredible. Actually incredible how good I can roll gear and how bad I am at pulling champions. Like, I've gone for pretty much every single Kaimar times 10, and I've not got Kaimar times 10. It's so bad. That's good. Ooh. Low rolls. That's a sell. Well, I feel like what happens is the concepts get generated in the dev team, which are really good, and then they get handed to the marketing team, and the marketing team butcher the implementation to try and make money out of it. And then we end up in a situation where Mythical Champions get released 2 months before the content for Mythical Champions is ready. Right? I think that's what's happened. Ooh, that's another one. I know. This is a thing, like, a lot of people kind of don't put enough context on. The people that are in this whole account selling issue, it's the problem with it is those accounts are created when the game only had like 500 champions. So actually getting a Kaimar was so much easier. Trying to get 4 Kaimars right now is next to impossible. It's just so hard. That's why the Prism system is quite good if you can do it, because it will give you much better odds of getting the champion one. If you want, like the last one, if you want to +4 your Duchess or whatever, that's when you crack them, because that's the only way you're going to do it these days. Whereas, you know, trying to get a Kaimar now is really hard. So it's like, because there's so many champions in the game, it's just so much difficult to get the one champion you need. My account doesn't need many legendaries. It needs very few, and those very few are very important. But because I can't get them, my account just like doesn't value. Shards are just not valuable for my account, because the summoning system is not designed for me anymore. It's designed for people who just started playing the game. They want to get more champions and epics and stuff. I don't really need more epics. And even when I get the epics, I don't even get new epics, right? I'm still after a Creodon. Somehow I've never pulled a corpulent, not a corpulent, a corpse collector. How is that even possible, that you don't pull a corpse collector after like 4 years of playing? What are the odds of that? I started wondering, is it actually just... I started wondering actually if it's not possible to pull the champion, because it's been that bad. Oh, these rolls are horrific on my Savage gear. Not getting anything good out of them. Nice green, nice. Why at Brutal Stage 3 I get 4,000 from food? Any changes? Forge Pass, maybe? Ionut? Have you got Forge Pass on? Are you losing live arena? Yeah, we're keeping track, Swiftcut. The number on the left, the wins, is how many times we triple roll. The number on the right is how many times we don't triple roll. That's what we're counting. So like now, if I triple roll this, which of course I will. Ooh, it was tempting. That's a fail, you know? It's a fail. It was close though. It's a fail. It was very close. We're not counting raise though, because that's, you can't triple roll a raise, right? That's unfair. So we're not counting raise, but anytime I tried to double or triple roll an epic or rare, that's really not going to be worth keeping. My Jintora is in a bad build now, John, because he's in reflex when we were testing him. Ugh. We're going through a bit of a barren patch here. All the triple rolling is drying out. We'll go on a run in a minute. I think the quad roll has basically punished us. Oh, it's another one. Another one down the drain. All this wonderful times to be savage. Look at all the quality of gear that I kept. It's not bad, actually. It's probably worth keeping in a right setup. It's a bit low, but it's okay. That's another fail, by the way. 8. Oh, that's bad. Another fail. You've eaten all your food, have you? It's a disaster, isn't it? Stop. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, John. If I ever get to a point where I get a Rotus, you know, sometime in the near future, not, then, you know, or something like a Mountain King or something, right, that scales off that. I do have Mountain Kings. Oh. What's the record at so far? 641. Oof. Still a pretty good record, though. $12. Yeah, we're in a Mexican restaurant now. I mean, Frozen Banshee and Mythru is really bad anyway. Frozen Banshee without a counterattack is bad. From a damage perspective. So is Poisons, really. Like, if you're running Mythru, you should be running straight damage. Right? If you're running Mythru, you should be running straight damage, not Poisons. Ooh. King of Triple rolling. What do you want food, you? We might have to have a brief intermission of the triple roll so that we can feed the cat. Oh, wait, well, defense. It's rough. Still, it's pretty good. Sometimes you've got to go to the level 16 to get the triple roll. That's just bad. Yeah. Can we finish this batch? Yeah? 2 seconds. Cats, honestly. We're almost at the bottom of the batch, but I think we got a bunch of stone skin to accept in a minute. What do we got here? Low roll. I'm looking mainly at rolls as well. Like, that's pretty good. Kind of low rolled. It's kind of low roll, but it's got accuracy on it. Try this. King of triple rolling. It's kind of a low triple roll, but it's still a triple roll. Yeah, okay, give me a second. Oh. King of triple roll. Nearly back to back that. Nearly back to back. My cat's name, often called Trouble, but officially Tinks. I call it Trouble more often than not. King of triple roll. Ooh. Now, there is a temptation to triple roll this, but attack with speeds. It's not good, really. We're gonna chalk that up to a loss. Because I'd have to reforge it, and I don't really want to reforge a perception piece. Rolled the wrong stat. What we got down here? Frostbite set. King of triple roll. Ooh, it triple rolled the wrong piece though. It's a shame. Are we at the double figures yet, nearly? We've got lethal and stone skin to do. Right, I'm just going to go feed the cat. I'll be back in around about 2 minutes. Got to get food for the cat because she is unhappy in life. Okay, we're back. Sorry guys, I should have turned the music up then for you guys. Can Ironclad's passive proc Phantom Touch? I do not think so, but I could be wrong. It depends if it's coded as 6,000. Let me check. Yes, it can, so long as he hasn't consumed it before, Big G. So if he activated it on the previous turn, it won't work. Because Phantom Touch has a cooldown. So if he activated it on his turn, he has to wait until it's his turn again before he can activate it again, so you can't do it through ally attack or counter attack. So as long as it's off cooldown, yes it can. If it's on cooldown, no it can't. Right then, this is what I really want to triple roll. It's really good though, isn't it? King of triple roll. Ooh. It's actually really low roll. What? You've got food now. Go eat the food. Honestly, cats. Love a roll version, a version of roll called in optimizer that treats a rare item as missing 3 rolls, epic missing 2 rolls. Yeah, I guess. It's worth keeping now. Whoa, another triple roll. Look at that, 24% crit damage. Ooh. Another triple roll. Ooh, that was close. Is it not raid? Right, let me check. Oh, my bad. That, my friends, is what you do. That is what you call not paying attention when you set up the stream. My bad. It is now set up correctly. Thank you for telling me. I did not notice. Back to King of Triple Rolling. What? No, go away. You're being annoying. Go away. Go eat your food. Eat your food. Hey. This piece is a Chaos Orb piece, if I've ever seen one. And it is bad. Okay. Oh, this one's good. Look at this. This piece is juicy. Come on, triple roll me good. It's good. It's good. Triple roll me good. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's the worst possible substat roll. It's probably better than what I've got, though. Okay, triple roll me good. That's not the triple roll I wanted, but it's probably really bad. You've had everything you possibly can have. Hey. Have some of these. Cats, honestly. She had like so many treats today. Has my cat ever caught a mouse? She doesn't go outside. She's a house cat, so she has not. She's quite a proficient bug catcher. We're very good at that, actually. We're very good at bug catching. We're a bit blind, I'll be honest. We have an affinity for hiding things under sofas as well. I don't really understand that, but we do. As I said, the recent discovery is we figured we can actually climb on top of the bookshelf, which is not terrifying whatsoever because it's right on top of the staircase and she's going to fall down it, and she's a little bit clumsy at times. Now you're going to go eat your proper food, now that you've discovered that it's there. Honestly. That's a sell. Right, what's this? Speed. Okay. Triple roll. Ugh. Ugh. Horrible. That's even worse as well. Okay, we're going to briefly stop there. Let's see how much we got left to do on the artifact enhancement. Oh, we're pretty much done. We're nearly done. We are nearly done. Look at that. One superior potion. So we're going to have to do another gear cleanse session at some point, because we've got all this to clear, but this is mostly accessories. Like, I probably need to claim these things up in a couple of days. Now I've got all this stuff to figure out. Where's it gonna roll? Nice. It's bad. It's bad. We'll roll to the end of the artifact enhancement event, then we'll stop, because then it's inefficient. It's only efficient to do it at the moment because, you know. But again, look how much silver we've spent. I've spent 20 million silver. It's so expensive doing these artifact enhancement events now. Even when you try to do it efficiently. Like when the last artifact, the last hero path we had, I was like, this is a quick way to do it. You'll save so much silver. You really don't. By the way, another triple roll. You really don't save that much silver. I don't know about that. I don't know what to do with that one. It costs you just as much to roll it to see if it's going to roll well as, you know, you don't get enough back from a resale value. Like here, for example, because you gotta really roll it to a good level. 8 is okay. 8 gives you an idea what the piece is going to be. It's low roll crit rate, accuracy is low. That's not so good, so I'll sell it. So I'll make a little bit back on that piece. But if you want to roll any legendary piece to a good quality, it has to go to 12, which is going to be 300,000 silver. And then I have to make a judgment. Is this good? I will keep this because it's speed with accuracy. This I can go to 8. 8 here is going to cost me 76,000 silver. It's a pretty bad piece. So how much can I sell it for? 68. So I've made a net loss. So I don't really understand, like, the argument that, oh, you can do this and save yourself. You can't save yourself loads of silver. Doesn't work like that. That's just a bad piece. I think some of these pieces I would have kept when I accidentally clicked off. So if I accidentally clicked off and I didn't, okay, I'll just sell that as flat stat. That was nice. Triple roll. It's good though. Not a triple roll, but it's good. That was basically a keeper unless it rolled flat HP. And it rolled flat HP, so it's a sell. And there's a lot of attack on this piece. It's a sell. What we got here? Speed. It's a sell as well. One speed here. We're all 12, see what we get. That's really bad. Really bad. What else we got here? What's this? Resistance. Don't really see the crit damage roll is a bit lame. Okay. We're done. I think that's it. That is it. That is the end of the gear cleanse. What was our final score? 1167. That's pretty good, right? Basically like 1 in 6. 1 in 6 I've triple rolled. Pretty good, that. What is the percentage odds of that? Let's have a look. 11 plus 67. So 78. So 11 divided by 78. It's like a 14% triple roll rate, that. 14. It's not bad. And we've got still A good chunk of space. I could go and get some more if I wanted to. 1 in 6, 1 in 7. Yeah, it's 14%. It's pretty good. Need to basically clear out all this. But we do that another day. So that's not bad. Any free wins in here? Yes. We like free wins. Sapper, I'd like your thoughts on key roles for a nuker for the Instinct set. Don't use Instinct. That's my key instinct. Savage, Cruel, or Lethal Cruel is the only way you should build a nuker. If you mean arena nuker, naturally. Savage, Cruel, or Lethal Cruel. But if you were to use it, I would suggest crit rate as a primary until you hit 100. Then I'd suggest crit damage balanced with attack using the optimizer damage mode. Oops, I resized that correctly. And then I would recommend speed after that. Speed is tertiary. Yeah, it's fine. I get really annoyed with Instinct because it was a good opportunity for them to create a good 2-piece set, but they forced a 4-piece set on you and it's just not as good. Yeah, I'd say crit rate as a primary stat is always, if you want a damage dealer, you have to get them to 100% crit rate as your first point of course, the first thing you would ever do. Then you're actually looking at a balance between the primary stat and crit damage, and then, you know, you want a minimum speed of, like, depending on where you were at. You know, if you want to use them for general content, I would say around about 190, 180 speed will get you through everything that you need to with a good team setup. So around about 180, 190, 100% crit rate, and then just balance your primary stat with crit damage using the optimizer. So I never buy the Instinct Forge Pass. I do the daily one, but I never buy it. You could pick any nukers for arena besides Ukrainian Deer. Who would you pick and why? Leo and Rotus. Because they're the few nukers that can self-sustain. They don't need any support to stay alive. Harima as well is in that mix. But basically Leo and Rotus, they're just too good. They're too strong. They're just way too strong. I think I've done everything. Let's see. Daily. Yeah, I've done everything. Done that. Plan boss. We've done that. Done brutal. I have to say, I should probably say I'm using the auto battle a bit more now. I did a video saying I wasn't going to use it, but it is convenient. Especially once I've built the team. It is convenient. I guess it's like a kind of a win. It's the best of both worlds, really, if you think about it. They've kind of... I can still manual if I want to, but I have been using it a bit more. So I may have been a bit dramatic with that video when I did that. You know, I'm allowed one every now and then. I'm allowed a loss every now and then. Right, we've done hard. Bare minimum. Nice. Oh, mind you, we still have to kind of kill hard, but I'm sure people will kill it eventually. Let's just get out and get another key done. Let's just get another key done. Let's get it out of the way. Yeah, Jorgid needs support. Sorry, guys. Should have muted then. Yeah, Jorgid just needs support, basically. Ah, yes. I think this is the last week of this rotation, isn't it? Thank the Lord, because I cannot deal with Ugo anymore weak hitting this stupid rat head. Yeah, but what I meant by Leorius is he can take a hit without dying. you have to basically bring something to stop him getting his block buffs, so you've got a lot more flexible options, whereas people like Jorgid, if they lose their stone skin, they're dead, right? People like Constantine, Vlad, Fenax, all these other nukers that I use, if they don't have that Necret protecting them, they've got no chance, whereas at least Leoris has his backup. He's got his backup unkillable, right? And obviously, the more you take his health out, the worse it gets, because... the more you take his health out, the stronger he gets. So it's not quite the same. So I was thinking about what the best decision there was. I was tempted to kill my Gnut so that he resets his sleep count, but it's a bit too soon for that. God, the song's a bit much. Yeah, I mean, but that's Rotus, right? What I'm saying is, he's one of the few that can actually stand tall against it. If you pick Leo, you probably ban the Rotus every single time, right? Because it's one of the few things that can stop him. That is the only difference. One more week, is it? Oh. I'll be honest, I'm tired of Ugo constantly weak hitting and this stupid, this rotation is so bad. Yeah, it's basically that 3, isn't it, Darky? There's probably some edge cases. Like, I've seen some Rogashis do some work, Solus can do work, I've seen Stoltus do some work, but they're not as effective at taking out the opponent. Let's see if Ugo now decides she wants to successfully place the debuffs. Oh, there we go. It only took her like 400 attempts. Go punch this dude in the face. Well done. That's what I do, KWS, all the time. All the time. No, the rotations are 4 weekly SGT. So we've had, it just so happens to be that 5 and 6, I think, have this kind of setup. Pulled an Ethos, worth building for Arena. I mean, he's good. He's just a little bit dated, right? I think there are better options now, but you could. There are not, it's not like he's unusable. He's just, you know, he's still AA AoE. He's very good for Nightmare campaign farming. I think that's what a lot of people use him for. Yeah, but the problem is when you bring freeze, you get polymorphed. So there's always that problem, right? You bring, you get frozen and then you bring polymorph into the equation. So there's pros and cons to that strategy. Right, Gnut better have his A3 available here. That's what I'm saying. Nice. Take out this head. Oh, I think we just got to refresh. So here, all we're going to do is we're going to get 1 key. That's all I care about. We're just going to 1 key. We're not doing 100 million like we did the other night. We're just going to 1 key and we're going to peace out. Get some big damage here. Whoa. Well done, Gnut. You're a prime candidate. The Knights Who Say Knee. Where do I know that from? The Knights Who Say Knee. Isn't that like an old MMO guild? Men, I guess. I'm sure it's an MMO guild. No, I know it's probably from Monty Python, but I'm almost certain I know them from like my olden days playing like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, the Old Republic. I'm sure of it. Yeah. It's like one of the original multi-game MMO clan like guilds, right? I'm sure I've seen them in like when I used to play Lord of the Rings online. I'm sure I did. I mean, you're not wrong, Lutfi, but you want to try and mitigate the risk as much as you can, right? That's what I'm saying. Is if you, you know, when you do that, it does bring that risk in. I mean, Jorgid is very good with people like Shuzhen, right? Shuzhen and Jorgid together are very good. Because Shuzhen basically gives Jorgid a turn. He basically kills someone, gets an extra turn, and then kills your team. Right? So you force him to take a turn. That's where I think Shuzhen is very good. As like that kind of forced like turn component. So you actually like win the turn, basically the turn fight, you know? That's an awkward timing for a Poison Cloud, but never mind. So we'll just bash this head in. Oh, he's got another refresh. Hey Saf, if you pulled a second Weller, would you empower or go for Faction Guardians? Faction Guardians. There's too many good Sylvan Watcher legendaries to sacrifice not having Faction Guardians. Faction Guardians every day of the week. Yeah, well, not consistently. She can give an extra turn, but she doesn't do it anywhere near the same level of consistency, right? She has to physically give a turn. Like, you wouldn't be able to run her in Arena. It's never going to work out for you. Because when are you going to get that extra turn? It's random. Who's going to give it to her? It's like... It's just not ideal. But they are the only two champions that do that. So, how does Shuzhen AI target champs for extra turn on auto? It probably doesn't do it very well. If anything, it's probably going to be team order. I'd have thought. But it probably doesn't do it very well. It's one of those champions like Romantu, for example. Rarely do you see Romantu on defense. Because predominantly he's used as an offense option. That's going to actually be quite difficult to get this guy out because I used my A2 at the wrong time. Well, that'll help. Let's get rid of that. Get that out. Oh, God. We got basic gear cleansing stats over sets. I have a godly 6-star perception gloves with crit damage ascended, crit rate. Generally, you want the damaging stats on the damaging sets, like Savage Cruel, right? Savage Lethal, Cruel, Stone Skin, somewhat. But there's no reason why you can't keep or utilize very good rolled non-pieces as damage, especially for places like Clan Boss, places like Hydra, places like PvE content. You know, sometimes a very, very good like life. I think I have like some insane life boots, right? They're like attack percentage, triple crit rate. Not really good for damage for arena, but they'll always get picked in low defense content like Clan Boss because, you know, you don't need as much ignore defense. So if you've rolled pretty well, then it's always worth keeping the piece irrespective of set. But where you're really looking for damage is on Savage, Cruel, and Lethal. Pretty much those are the only sets that you build your arena nukers in. Savage, Lethal, Cruel. It's the only ones. People will tell you they've used like instinct, and sometimes they use different, like savage, cruel, and lethal is the only sets you will ever see anyone ever use if you're building an arena nuker competently. You might see them put them in 6-turn stone skin for like people like Cupidus. That's the only other way that I've seen them built. But if you're trying to build a damage dealer, you would not build them in anything other than those like 4 combinations. Either a 6-turn stone skin, or you'd build them in savage, cruel, or lethal cruel. What legend does the same job as Ugo? Archbishop Helmet. Not Archbishop Helmet. Archbishop Pinroy. 2 Hanomaks, not too bad. Supreme Gallic. There's another one as well. Monkey does it okay. Not as good though, because you don't get decreased defense, right? It's not as good. He's a bit more... Monkey's more one-dimensional. Not really, Nexard. You're better off just going ignore defense full. The 12% speed you can find in a 2-piece set. You can't find the 5% ignore defense. That's what it comes down to. You cannot find 5% ignore defense anywhere else. I can find 1.5 rolls of speed. I can't find 5% ignore defense. So even in that situation, I still would not recommend instinct. I'm talking about extreme endgame. So I'm not talking about mid game or if you're starting the game. I'm talking about if you want to build a damage dealer properly, as in the highest way of building it, you would never use instinct in any capacity, because you lose ignore defense, and ignore defense is one of the most valuable stats in the game. Oh, 24 million. Remind me, what's the 1 key for Nightmare? Is it 36.6? King Galkaba. Yeah, do you know what? Galkaba was in the first Primal Prism Shard system, I want to say. Galkaba is one of those champions that I would really like. I actually went looking for him in that Prism system, the first Prism system we had. That was the one legendary I really wanted. Oh, yay. We're not going to have block buffs up. And now we're going to kill ourselves in the Reflect because of Ugo's incompetent ability to place block buffs. Well, let's hope we heal up before the next nuke. Nope. Well, at least we don't have to... Well, on the bright side, at least we don't have to provoke, right? Gotta look at the positives here. This next smack is going to hurt. It's going to hurt big time. It is going to hurt like nobody's business, and there's nothing I can do about it. Hey Magnus, what esport? Was it Overwatch? That's been on the spiral for a while, hasn't it? Which esport was it? Oh, that was a big hit. We're right though. We survived it. Yeah, obviously, if your champion ignores defense, then you're basically looking at crit damage. You're looking at kill stroke. You're looking at maybe zeal. You're looking at like zeal is probably really good on Shamael. I would suggest that zeal is the best option for Shamael because he doesn't need ignore defense. Oh, they actually terminated it now. Let's have a look. Has it actually come to an end? I know it's had a lot of problems recently, hasn't it, in terms of like teams being offered a payout to cancel the buy-in that they had and all sorts. Problem is Valorant has just squeezed its space a little bit. And also, I think they mismanaged the game a little bit. Oh yeah, they've come out saying we're building a revitalized esports program. Well, that says everything, really. Yeah, Overwatch 2 was a really bad release. They basically released Overwatch 1 with a few like minor changes. It's a shame. It's a shame. It was a good game. I liked Overwatch when it came out, but I think it just got squeezed by Valorant, if I'm being honest. It just got squeezed out of the market by Valorant. The only thing is Blizzard tends to do this, and they tend to revitalize it in different forms. It's not like it'll be gone forever. They'll find something to bring it back, but esports space is just in a weird position right now where investment is very difficult. So I mean, I'm pretty sure Heroes of the Storm has been on like life support for the last 3 years, I want to say. And that's still going. Or 2 years. They're still playing the game. I don't think Blizzard is generally. Blizzard's just been bought out by Microsoft eventually. Blizzard's absolutely fine. I think esports is in an awkward position. That's different. Especially in North America where they kind of like player salaries got out of control. You know, that wasn't probably the best thing. So, I mean, the core game is pretty good. The probably is just the mismanagement of the league. They kind of overinvested to get it better than Riot to a good success when Overwatch League first came out. Then they just had a lot of problems sustaining the Overwatch League, and I think that's what it comes down to. They just, you know, unfortunately mismanaged the product of the thing. And I also think that they probably didn't want to commit to the investment required to establish a league. You got to remember, Riot spent so much money on setting up their competitive scene because it was such a profitable way for them to market the game. But they eventually started pulling out and saying, right, you know, leagues need to be more self-sufficient. They went after sponsors, which means in America that killing a Baron has to be called a Red Bull Baron play, and the, you know, all these stupid things that they come out with every day of the week, like the I don't know, whatever it was. You know, at one point they had the FTX thing going on, and America is just awful for it. Like, I actually can't stand watching League of Legends Worlds purely because the product placement and everything is just ruining the experience. I don't mind it in LEC, the European leagues, because they still do have like Kit Kat sponsors and stuff, but it's not like everything in the game is named after the sponsor. It's okay. Like, I don't mind that they have Kia adverts. They're quite cool. I don't mind that when they're having a pause, you see Kit Kat, you know, take a break. I don't mind that because actually the whole game mode isn't revolving around a sponsorship. Whereas when you watch the American leagues, it's like the Red Bull Baron play and the progressive like timestamp and like the, you know, even the analyst desk isn't the analyst desk anymore. It's the, what is it? Like the, I can't remember the company that they got partnership with. I know it's an American thing, but it's so awful to listen to. State Farm, I say, yeah, the State Farm analyst desk. And I'm like, no, it's just an analyst desk. It's just a caster desk. It's nothing else. It doesn't need to be like, you know, everything under the sun. It's just what it is. Oh, that was many moons ago. I think Strategos in the right team is better than Morley. Morley has a uses. Like, Morley, to me, if you've got a Necmo, is quite good. Morley on her own needs more support, whereas Strategos will probably provoke much more consistently without anyone else in the team. But you do need a bit of turn meter control with Strategos as well, right? The only one that you probably don't need that much turn meter control with is people like Skull Lord and Husk a little bit. Well, not so much Husk, but like Skull Lord Vargal is probably the best one. I don't think he's bad. I think it depends on the team you've got set up. He's better if you need the team support, right? Because he has decreased speed. Morley doesn't have decreased speed. He has he has ally protection. Morley doesn't have that. He's got the increased defense on all allies. Morley doesn't have that. So if you require more support in your team, Strategos is the better way to go. They're different champions performing different roles. It doesn't mean either of them are particularly bad. It's how you set them up in a team. Really, I don't think Morley's passive is that good. It's okay, but it's no better than having someone who does 25% turn meter boost. Is it? Is it any different? It's not like you get it every single turn. You know, she has to be attacked. So she might take 2 turns before she gets attacked because you've got decreased speed out on everyone. I'm not diminishing her passive. Her passive's quite good, but right now you only get it once and you have to wait for it to turn. So it's like anyone who does 25% turn meter fill will do that fine. Anyone who brings any sort of turn meter control will be fine for that. Yeah, like Lady Kimmy can do that. Yeah, 110 CD. I mean, Taras can basically do it if you want to use the Taras, you know? It's not me having to go at Morley. I'm simply saying that depending on the team, Strategos Islin with the right setup might be more valuable than Morley because he can provide more support for the team. That's not a criticism of either champion. It's how the team is structured. All right, it's a balance of the team. I just think Morley, because it's a 3-turn cooldown, needs Necmo to work. If there is no Necmo, I think she struggles unless you've got her going very fast. Yeah, I know, I was joking about Taras, Wheeze. That was a joke. Like this. 3-turn cooldown's great. If it goes 2-turn, great. I'm not saying she's terrible. I actually think she's, you know, that one stream we were having where I was criticizing Morley, actually, there's 2 things. One, I was just in a really bad mood for some reason. Don't really know why. But the actual other thing I was going to mention is the main fundamental problem with that team was the Wuji was taking the attack away from Morley, so you didn't get a passive. So that was the 2 issues with the Morley there. I actually think now that I've built it properly, as in I put it to 280 speeds, I've got it paired with Necmo, she's actually good at doing the job here. I don't really necessarily think that she's the best option because the problem is you're provoking without damage. So while she's very good, you're provoking without damage. She's one-dimensional. All she's going to do is provoke. Whereas if you can bring someone who can do damage and provoke, that would be more desirable. I mean, there's plenty of champions. You could run like Uko in provoke gear. I don't think you need to... I think she's replaceable. I think you overvalue her passive a lot. You know, she's got to get hit, and the bosses, the way the bosses work, like, I just think that's a bit of an overvaluation of just a 25% turn meter fill. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's great. I'm just saying that she's not irreplaceable because of her passive. Oops, I shouldn't have used provoke, that was bad. I put my Morley in reflex so I can get back around to provoke as quickly as I can. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I don't have provoke available, so I put her in reflex to be safe. Like, you need her going quite fast to work. She's got to be over 350, like at least 350 speed. Or 250 speed, sorry, at least. So I got her in 280 speed now. I could stop this. I don't know why I'm keeping going here. Hey, Kragan. Yeah, but Nexard, not as much as just bringing a straight damage dealer would. She isn't replacing another max HP nuker. She's not replacing like a Supreme Gallic or like someone else who could provoke with damage. So yes, it's good. As I said, I'm not trying to hate on it. I think it's a good passive. I just don't think it's so good that it's irreplaceable. There are plenty of things that could replace it if they're stronger. You have to also, like, for example, I'm not getting attacked here. So you've got to make sure she actually gets attacked as well. Oh, we resisted. Well, that's a bit of a problem. We might be in a bit of spot of bother here. Find out. Oh, we're going to kill it. It's fine. And the good team, I mean, I could do 400 million with Raw. Hit her on Brutal. She won't outdamage a Husk. Sorry to come to you, but would you still have Relentless in all the time? I have mine in Curse, so I can bring another DPS here tonight. Yeah, I would. I think he's too powerful not to have him Relentless. Personally. I think he's just too powerful to have not having Relentless. He just does so much if you get a lot of Relentless procs. Yeah, but I don't think, like, most people bring, like, block buffs and you don't even need a Mischief tank, right? It's important that she becomes the Mischief tank, otherwise you don't get the passive. So it's actually very valuable that she is the Mischief tank when you use it. It's almost like you have to use her as a Mischief tank, otherwise you lose a ton of value on her. So yeah. As I said, next out, I'm not hating on Morley. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to make the statement that she's irreplaceable, I think is a stretch. I think there are plenty of champions that would replace her and do as good a job. I don't think the turn meter control is such a dominant thing that you cannot replace it. It's good. It's worth doing. It's a good champion. She's consistent at it if you have her in the right setup and the right balance. But there are other champions out there, you know? I don't know why I'm still fighting this. If I'm being honest. Just let him run an auto. It's a 4 times 25% turn meter, or every turn that's an additional turn like another champion. Well, you're basically giving your team 25% turn meter fill when she gets attacked every turn. But one, she's got to get attacked. Two, so what you got to look at, does a champion have more turn meter control overall in their kit? Potentially. And it's more than just taking a turn, right? Yes, turn meter filling is great. But you want to make sure that you're bringing enough rolls. Like, she does take up a spot as a single provoker, right? That's basically all she does. She provokes. That's all she does, really. If we talk about the rolls, right? She doesn't do decreased speed. She doesn't do you know, sort of any self-buffing for the team. She doesn't protect the team. She does a turn meter control boost. She can be a mischief tank and she provokes. So she is one-dimensional in that sense. When you compare it to someone like Chris, who can extend buffs, add a protection, increase speed, increase defense, decrease attack, decrease speed, right? He does so much in one ability. Same as Ugo. Ugo is a cleanse on top of a leech, on top of a decreased defense and block buffs. Necmo, decrease speed, increase turn meter, decrease attack, right? They're multi-role champions. She is a single role champion with a good passive. Are there any replacements? So Inquisitor basically has 3 replacements: Veil, Cleanse, or Shamael, right? So it's either a Duchess, Rectodrath, Tutora type of Veil, or you run something like a Tuhanarak Duchess, Tuhanarak Doom Priest, or you run like a combination where you can get away with it here with like Ugo Mithrala, right? So you just constantly roll the Cleanse and then prioritize killing the Head of Decay, or you run Shamael. It's still one of the most niche solutions, I think, Torment Head. You still kind of are very limited to what you can do. What's the difference between Veil and Perfect Veil? So when you have a Veil Russian Tuber, if you use an offensive ability, like a skill, it automatically removes the Veil whether it's 2-turn or not. With a Perfect Veil, you keep the Perfect Veil until it expires. It also has a difference in damage reduction. Veil reduces damage by 7.5%, Perfect Veil by 15%. But the main difference is, like, so when Duchess revives, it's a Veil, not a Perfect Veil. So the moment you do an attack, you'll lose the veil. Whereas a perfect veil will stay on you all the time. What does Inquisitor actually do? So there's two ways you can build Inquisitor. Either full damage, which is what you see here, or you build him like super slow in high resistance, and so he absorbs all the buffs and then becomes a mischief tank. What he's doing is whenever a fear debuff gets placed on your team, he instantly cleanses it, and then he boosts the turn meter of the leader. It's technically bugged, never been fixed, but that's how it works. So whenever a fear comes out now, he'll cleanse it and then boost. You see the boost turn meter on the leader? You got to zoom in to see the text, right? Look at the text now. See, boost. So whenever a fear, boost. So the reason why you put someone like Mother Sibel, Mashaled, Nekmothar is you're boosting their turn meter significantly with the passive, so you want them to take a turn. So whoever you want in your team to take a turn more often with Shamel is the one that goes in the leader, irrespective of aura. So on my hard team, I use Mashaled because I want him to be constantly attacking, constantly taking turns, more turns, all the time. You could put someone like a Provoker in there if you wanted to, so you'll always get more turns to give them more opportunities. I don't really know why it boosts the leader. It shouldn't boost the leader. It's bugged. It's always been bugged. So, speaking of Veil damage reduction, Ragash for solo minifarm is surprisingly effective. Ragash is, in my opinion, one of the strongest carries you can pick up in the game. When he was available for a guaranteed, I was like saying to people, he's so good. He carries so many things. Like he's got that AoE decreased defense, AoE stun, self-buffing increased attack on an A1. He's got increased speed. He's got strengthen. He's got a passive that makes it protect when your weaker champ is so good. As an overall, all-round, he can carry you all the way through the game on his own. Such a great champion. Ragash's spirit. But I think it's either the stun or the decreased defense is affinity immune because he does it before he attacks. I think it's the stun. So whenever he attacks, he always places... he'll always do the stun, I think it is. They're using him in Finite Hard, are they? I wonder what for. So Bivald is a better provoker if you need healing, basically. Bivald is where you'd go if you want healing, because he provokes with heals. Decreased defense. Yeah, I know it was one of them. I could never remember which one it is. But it makes him affinity immune, basically, which is really good. I used to use him a lot. I don't anymore at the moment because I just have other champions, but... he pumps some damage numbers as well. He's really good. People, like... I've been meaning to experiment with him in Arena, to be honest. I feel like it's something you could experiment with. So Kantra just needs lots of debuffs, right? So you need a setup like... Mithrala Ugo is a great setup with Kantra if you can bring 2 more debuffs. You need to get 5 debuffs or 4 debuffs out from the start so she gets that provoke. Then she can kind of provide her own debuffs. But you need someone to warm her up. Tony the Tiger. Yeah, I mean, all the guaranteed legendaries are really good if you think about it. Elva is one of the most powerful champions for Clan Boss and Arena. Stultus, the best, like, Dragon 10 champion in the game. Ragash, generally one of the best carries in the game. I'm trying to think what other guaranteed sacreds they did. Nekmothar, guaranteed sacred, best. Pretty much, I'm of the strong opinion that there is a Chrysias out there. Nekmothar is still the best Hydra champion in the game. Because he sets up every team. Because you get increased speed, increased turn meter, decreased speed, leech, and decreased attack. You have everything that you need to start a good team in one champion. He helps boost your nukas, he helps slow the enemy down, he helps keep those enemy damages lower, he helps you heal. It's just such a powerful champion. And even if things go wrong, he's got that passive to instantly get himself loads of turn meter, so he instantly gets a turn, so he might be able to boost you back into getting things set up. I'm of the strong opinion that Nekmothar is the best Hydra champion in the game. And that includes all the Void Legendaries. It's just, in my opinion, just the best one. Pretty much, if you look at like the top Acrizia teams, I'm almost like 90% certain they're all led by Nekmothars. With some exception if there's like quad Acrizia or something dumb like that, but I'm pretty sure majority of them are run by Nekmothars. Yeah, Nekmo's such a big... Like, I was all over it when I got him. Yeah, Kimmy was a guaranteed as well. I think she was a guaranteed ancient, though. Honestly, I don't use Kimmy as much because she's a little bit conditional for my liking. Oh, Nekmothar got eaten, by the way. Can I replace Nekmo? Maybe. Like, I personally think people like... Lysandra is the closest sub. Lysandra or Morrigan, I think, is the closest sub to Nekmothar. But even that. Maybe Kimmy as well. The problem with Kimmy is she does the increased speed, increased termite, and decreased speed, but doesn't do the decreased attack or the leech. So you can't, like, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to find a sub for Nekmothar. Got a question for you. I pulled Zavia. I'm doing some testing. She doesn't use her A3 on bosses that don't have ads. Is it important to turn it on or let the poisons roll naturally? I mean, if you're killing a boss, especially high-end content Boom Skillet, if the boss has got the 10% max HP cap, you do not want to use Poison Explosion. Because essentially it's always going to do 10% cap, because Explosion is an activation. So when you're exploding, it essentially is taking all of the poisons, and then it will deal up to 10% of the boss's HP. Whereas activation will bypass that mechanic. So for the boss, you probably just want to A1 and poison it out if it's a high-end boss as well. Yeah, Kimmy's probably the closest, you're right. Razzlevarg is not bad. The problem is Razzlevarg doesn't do decreased speed. So when Razzlevarg came out, I thought he just needed one more thing to be really, really good. But his damage makes up for it. So Razzlevarg is like more of an offensive option. He's more of a carry nuke. And I've seen some crazy numbers. I didn't believe people could get 5 million damage from Razzlevarg. I was wrong. People can do some crazy numbers with Razzlevarg. So he's more like of an offensive support. But again, the problem with Razzlevarg is he has to be the one placing increased speed at least 4 times. So you've got to be careful with the setup. You don't want to basically make it so he never can stack his passive. There we go. I've put some points up. As I said, we're nowhere near coming even third. We've got to almost double it. So I just can't see it happening. So I'm just going to put whatever points up this month. I don't really care. I haven't got it in me. It's still a solid key considering we just let it on auto. I could have gone higher, but 76 million will do. So we just got a brutal key to do tomorrow. I can't bother to do any more tonight. We'll see where we finish. What am I at? 348 million. I mean, these chests are pretty lame anyway. Like, there's not much difference between this chest and this chest, really, if you think about it. It actually makes you wonder, if you finish third, is it really worth the effort for this? Because you're still getting 6-star mythical gear. Won't make any difference. It's probably the drop rates are slightly different, but, like, for double the amount of damage, you get 5 primal quartz and 20 clan gold and 3 clan XP. 3 clan XP. I should just get the 350 million and peace out, right? It's only when you start getting up here that it matters more, probably, because of the 75 quartz. Like, that jump for 75 quartz is the main attraction here. But I've never got it so far. I've got 2 of these chests, and every single time I've got 30. So, what area bonuses? I personally think the most valuable area bonus is ignore defense and speed. And crit damage. These 3 are the most important ones. If you get ignore defense up to 20%, then Savage Cruel is 30, 20% from area is 50. Helm Smasher is 75%. Or if you've got a champion that has like 50% ignore defense like Krutraxa, you're doing true damage permanently. So ignore defense and speed is the most important ones, then I do crit damage. Yeah, that clan XP is so important. The only reason why clan XP caught up so much is because they started chucking like thousands in personal rewards. If they didn't put loads in personal rewards, we'd never get to the levels required. But now we have. It's kind of like, what are we going to get at level 20? Look at that. We're going to get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why couldn't this just be extra silver? Why can't we just have 10% extra silver everywhere? Is that such a crime? Just give me 10% silver everywhere. Please. Why is it only campaign that I get 10% extra silver? You know how much 10% extra silver is going to be in a dungeon? About, what is it, like 200? Let's see, let's go run a spider, right? We'll run a spider run, stage 20. How much silver do we get? 900. Is it that much? Is that much to ask for? Just like 900 more silver. I don't know. I do need to get back to trying to beat Finite Hard. I haven't revisited it in a while. The main problem I've got with Finite Hard is I can make it work if I don't have GNU in Reflex and Refresh. But if I take him out of Reflex and Refresh, then essentially I lose the value in Hydra. So I'm a little bit like, oh, I don't really want to do it, but I do. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit until I get a few more area bonuses. So I'm going to try and get some more area bonuses first and give it another bash. So I'm just decaying down. You see what I mean? I want to upgrade to level 6 in silver. I need 120 medals. So that's like 3 wins in live arena. But I don't want to use my gold medals because I could instantly go up to plus 14. So I'm like, I don't want to use the gold medals to get to level 6. I'd rather go and get 120 silver, then do that straight to level 7. It's a bit annoying. So it's a little bit annoying. The other annoying thing is I'm on 95 out of 100. Grr. Yeah, I could put him in Relentless, but I lose a lot of value, basically. Oh, I haven't done this quest yet. Maybe we... Can I do this? Find out with Shadowkin. Can we do this quickly? Finite 20. Faction. Shadowkin. Who we got? Well, that's going to do double damage. We'll do that. Who's got 2 meter control in this? Oh, he does 2 meter control, doesn't he? Oh, he's filling. Ooh, look at that. That's really good. We could use Nobel. Oh, yeah, we do have Ruella. No, Ruella's Sylvan. She's not Shadowkin. She's Sylvan. These are all the ones I got. Obviously, he would be very good as well, right? 'Cause triple hits all the time. Oh, look at that, actually. Oh, look at that, actually. Look at that. Oh, yeah, we'll experiment with him. We need a wave clear. Which we, I suppose, could use. Need a wave player. I could use Nagordio. Throw some gear on Nagordio as a wave clear. Oh, mind you, it's Force Affinity. That's not great. It's not the best affinity here. Guess we just do that. And that, I guess. Who has gear here? Let's have a look. Who actually has gear? Is Fenshi out here? Let's have a look. Faction. Shadowkin. Oops, Shadowkin. Oh look, they're all out. So Tyre's quite good. The reason why I've got Tyre in here is she'll be able to activate a bunch, and she does triple hit on everything. On the main ones that matter. Or on the poisons, at least. So I kind of want her for the activation. This dude needs some skillage. So let's give him some crit damage, accuracy. He doesn't really need accuracy. He's got loads. What do we got here? Let's give him that. That's fun. What's this? Why is he wearing HP ring? That's really bad. Attack. You take that. What's this? Accuracy, it's fine. What's he got going on? He's got HP. That's just awful. You take that piece. That looks exciting. What do we got? Defense. What is this? Crit damage, crit rate, speed. Look, that looks delightful. Have that. Then we need like crit rate at the top here. That's great. Have that. That's great. Have that. What's this? Accuracy chest. It's not the best. We need an attack percentage chest. Cool, have that. Plenty of crit right now. And then we just need a speed piece over here. Just to zoop him up a little bit. Anyone got Relentless? Where's Relentless gone? There. I did it with a little bit of accuracy. That's perfect. That's probably not great. .186 speed, way too much crit rate, and not enough. So I've got way too much crit rate. Let's just take that crit rate away from the helm. Go for that. That's great. Still a little bit too much crit rate, but it's absolutely fine. Has he got masteries? Oh, he's ready to go. Look at that. Let's bring out Nagorio. Nagorio hits like a truck. So again, let's just go for like attack percentage in like, I don't know, lethal. Have we got anything good here? I'll do. Use the new piece. Look at me doing this without using the optimizer. Oh, that looks great. Let's give him that. And then I want crit damage, crit rate. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And then we want crit rate along the top. Nagorio hits really hard. He's a champion that I've been meaning to do content on that I just haven't got round to yet. But he does hit significant numbers. Like, I would say he is a monster here. Let's have that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, 95%. I need 5% in here. It's fine. Wait, has he got crit rate? Oh, that's going to give us some. So we gain 10%, but we lose 10%, so we still need 5% here. So we just need one roll of crit rate, ideally. Like, that is perfect. We lose a lot of speed, mind. We benefit from speed. We'll find the speed. We'll find the speed. It's absolutely okay. And we put an attack banner on him. There you go. Look, I said I'd find the speed. Crit damage attack. We don't really care about accuracy. Doesn't do anything like that. Look at that. Oh, let's go with that. Giga charged Nagorio. You're about to see how crazy damage this dude is. It's going to be weak affinity though, isn't he? But it's fine. He'll be weak affinity, but it's fine. He'll figure it out. He's a smart aleck, this dude. He'll figure it out. .175 speed. Beautiful. What does he do? Places increased attack on himself. He attacks an extra hit if he's got increased attack. He places block burst. I don't really care about that. Decreases the cooldown of this skill if he's attacking into increased attack. So he always just needs to get increased attack, which he places on himself and he can't remove it. So it's kind of cool. So that's kind of cool. You're built. You're built. I think all the rest are built, right? Well, let's just give it a go. Kyoku. Yeah, everyone's built. Let's give this a go then. What's the worst that can happen? Watch this. Let's do that. Oh wait, I didn't even put him in the team. What am I doing? Oh well, never mind. Not the best. Oh, I got an extra turn there. Why did I do that? I was an idiot. Oh well, we can freeze people at least. I mean, we can just probably auto this. It's fine. Oops. It's fine. Michinaki will carry this one. We'll use all of our abilities on the waste because, you know, it's like just wasting silver on a magic champion. Well, I'm not wasting silver Den Flames because I can probably, now that I've built him, make him for content, right? I always planned on doing some content around Nagorio. I just never got round to it. It's fine. It just means I put some good gear on another nuker. I use him now as well. Is there a way to limit gear rank in Optimizer? I want to hit some feed. It's something I'll probably add, but you can't do it at the moment. It's something we're going to look at. Let's use all of our single target abilities. Oh, he did his A3. Oh, he did it. Oh, we knocked it down, look. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to get it this time. There we go, look. We're good to go now. He's got his A3 up, surely. Okay, well, not really, but... It's fine. It's not... It's the worst that could happen here. Night, Wesley. Look, there you go. It's a nice... Look at that turn meter control. Look at it go. She's going to get poisons up. Nice. Michinaki swinging his thing, doing his thing. I mean, it's a fair probability that we're going to lose someone here, right? But, you know, it's fine. Oh, he's still alive. The cool thing is, poison activation with Tyre counts as shield explosion. So it's actually quite good. Hey Shane, welcome. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Let's see who came out top there. Who was the highest damage? Michinaki, Kyoku, Ninja, Fenshi, beating all the rest. Right, let's try dropping Ninja. Let's bring Nagorio. Nagorio. I know it's weak affinity, right? So, like, obviously it's a thing. But so is Michinaki, right? So it's not the end of the world. Oh, wow, look at Michinaki rolling. All that relentless. I kind of want to show what he can do. Ah, look at it. He's got his increased attack. So he gets increased attack whenever an enemy drops below 30% HP. So now he can do all this. And, like, just go... Woof, look at that damage. 106,000. He's weak affinity, remember, as well. So he's taking, like, 30% less damage here. Said he's good. Like, he's strong. He's, like, one of the strongest fusions they've ever done. I kind of need to, like... See, it's on cooldown. That's the only downside here. So... Then we have single targets, right? So it's not so great, but... I'm gonna wait a turn. We'll just give a bit of a protection up here. Throw that out there just to be safe. Because he'll get pumped a bit, but it's fine. Bump, bump. So we can, like, just... You know, you got this ability here. Which is not so bad. Like, 78,000 without increased attack. So strong. Oh, he's got increased attack now, just at the bad time. Boom. Double hits. And then if we do that, drop the turn meter. Increase attack out. And then... I don't know. He's kind of done his job now. What? He's dead. Oh, no. Oh, it's probably fine. I can just auto it now. Hex is out, so he'll just keep Corsair on it all the time. Poison up. Bomb bomb. Oh, look at him go. Decrease speed. Fenchi is so good for this boss, by the way. Fenchi is like low-key one of the best champions for Finite if you haven't got like the ultra big legendaries. Like obviously we're building him as part of a team here that's not the best because he's obviously there's no like really good Termite, but look at that, look how good that Termite control is. Hey, so I think you guys will implement a search by level feature for gear for those of us who want to prepare the level 7's gear for artifact events. There is a search by level 7 gear already in the... He just executed that boss, didn't he? Didn't he just like nuke that boss? Sure he did. He just did execute that boss. How much health was that boss on then? Whoa, he just took 25%. No, he literally just took 25% of the boss then, didn't he? Did he just like... Oh, the boss took a turn. I was going to say, I wondered what it was. I was like, I thought he just nuked the boss. Like, why didn't that passive activate? Oh, it's 30%. Well, that kind of terrible. Oh, well, we got it now. It's a bit late, but, you know. Gotta watch out for these air rolls. It kind of hurt. Oh, really? Can we not stun my one champion that I wanted to... You're lucky that he's staying alive. The one champion I'm trying to like do some damage with, and they're like, no, 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 no. Finished. Well, he might die here, actually. I have to do this to make sure he doesn't die. He is looking a bit ropey right now. He'll be fine. Yeah, I was gonna say when he just died, I was like, oh my god, did Nagori just like do a number on him? But no, obviously, as you said there. Come on, finish it off. Nice. Attacks 2 times, attacks 1 enemy. Let's do that. Duh, duh, duh. Protect. Boost. Let me get some Termite control. Boom, boom. Ah, look at how good that is. So good. That was not great. block buffs to get the triple hits. Weakens out. Oh, he's gonna hurt. What? He lived. Nagoria's alive. He lives to fight another day. I really should save that hex for when I need it. I just activate. Boof, boof. I think we're gonna do this like 7 more times after this. Should be fine. Drop Timia. We only got 1 that time. That's brutal. I should probably done decreased speed instead. Oh, nice. We can get Hex out. Okay, well, Nagoria is dead. It's not great. But, you know, we'll probably be fine because we had a lot of poisons up. Let's get poisons back out. That's the nice thing about poison activation with Finite. It counts as a shield hit, so if you can activate poisons, then that's a very cheap way of you basically getting shield hits. No, Fenshi's booked. Fenshi booked as a 2-turn A2. It's really good. That's why I put him in Relentless, just so I can get back around to it. See, all that activation got me straight back to a damaging mode. Fenshi actually hasn't been able to get decreased speed out here, but it's just so good. Right, if you're struggling on Finite, Fenshi is the way to go. If you've got him, he is such a great carry for this. So, why doesn't he use A3? Why is he so dumb that he does not use A3? Please explain to me the stupidity of the AI. He has increased attack up, he has AoE, and what does he choose to do? A1. A1. How dumb is Nagorio like that that's what he does on auto? Like, he could have done that. Nope. He was like, no, and that's not exactly what we're going to do here. We are going to use the A stupid one. Because, you know, AI in this game is dumb. Let's just drop his Termite here. Oh, he's got his A back. Let's do that to... Oh, he's dead. Oh, he survived. He survives for 1 more turn. Yeah, you can get unlucky, but at least there's a 2-turn cooldown, right? So it's not so bad. He's pretty good for damage as well, mind. It's like pretty strong damage output coming from. I'll have to just do that to protect him from that. What's nice about Nagora as well is he does self-buff attack, so if you can get a situation where he can get more out of it, then it's decent. And it's protected, so you can't take it off him. Yeah, I'm doing the advanced quest. Do that. Boop. Bum. Bum. Whirl. Did not work. Protection. Decrease attack. Alright, so. Not the best first step. Doop. 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 Just need to get him out of this. Shield. There we go. always makes me laugh when there's 2 debuffs. The way that Kyoku like does a drift maneuver. Let's get poisons. Kawaii. Boom, boom, boom. So at 3 there. So good. We get Hex. Nope. Can we get decreased defense? Yes. It's not bad considering we got 2 negative affinities here. And the nice thing is he's triple hit on all of his abilities, so... Shields down. Hex. Boom, boom. So... Yeah, I mean, it's... I think I could probably leave this auto farm, if I'm being honest. Yeah, his book value is nuts because he gets down to a really low cooldown. And poison activation straight down to 5. I remember Never in the free-to-play challenge had Fench and it got him so far in Finite. It was actually more impactful than Ronda because of the turn meter control. He used the 2 of them together, but it was really powerful. Hey Sav, I don't currently use Fenchy, but I pulled 5-star Sulfur. Should I rank him up? I mean, if you need someone for Finite, he's very, very good at it. His damage output as well is competent, you know? He's capable of putting out good damage because look, this is a 2-turn cooldown, has a 75% chance. I think Sniper doesn't work on it, but 75% chance of basically decreasing the cooldown by 15%. 3 hits. A1 3 hits. Each hit has a 30% chance, 40% chance of placing decreased speed. 2 hits. Each hit places a poison for 3 turns. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each poison debuff on the target. So if you actually get a lot of poisons up, this thing is a nuke, right? So if you basically set this up to have like more poisons, I'm just trying to think now who we can get for more poisons here. Let's just run a team here where we go take this out a second. We can rebuild this in a minute. Take that out. Poison. Who else does poisons here? Right, so basically every 10%, every poison is 10%. If we get 10 poisons up, 100% ignore defense. Where is someone with increased attack? Let's just lead it with Duchess a second to keep him alive. The problem with you is you're going to do poisons, but you're also going to do that, which I don't really want. I need like only poisoners. Trying to think of a poisoner that only poisons without poison sensitivity or anything else like that. Well, let's use this dude because he doesn't do any debuffs, but he does have a toxic set, so that'll do that to keep him alive. Who's got poisons? I don't have Bad Dog Kazar. I do have Ganesh Shark, I suppose. Dark Hill does poison sensitivity. Taurus could be a shout, but then recovering Taurus is going to be hard. Heal reduction, not so great. It's actually quite hard finding people who just poison without any condition. Like, we could use him, because he only does poison on an A1, so that's cool. We'll use Akemtum. So that's like 2 forms of poison. And let's just bring some turn meter control with it, shall we? Let's try that. How would he be in Shogun's Grove? It's quite difficult. Oh, mind you, I didn't really... well, we can use Hex on this wave. Didn't really think about killing the wave here, I'll be honest. Bit of an oversight. Sorry, Emek will do a job. We just don't want Eric to do smite. That's the only thing we don't want, because that would ruin this test. Right, we just want them to take turns now, because they're going to kill themselves. Are you running considering? I will never build a cadaver team. Honestly, I would imagine the amount of unsubscribes I would get from YouTube if I spend all this time complaining about cadaver and then I go build it myself. So I'll never use it. You know, it would be unfair for me to build it. Just like Ultimate Death Knight. If I spend all this time complaining about Ultimate Death Knight and then just use him myself, then it's a little bit like, you know, double standards, you know? And I am a man of my word. Oh, that hurt a bit. Oh, the cat's on the move. Just yeah, stretch. Come on. Oh, we lost. We lost our damage test. It's alright, we'll revive him now. Someone nuked him. Come back to me, Fenax. Fenshi. Close enough. Start with F. See you later, David. Have a nice evening. What teams champions would you never build out of principle? Cadaver teams. Ultimate Death Knight, I'll never build out of principle. There's not many, to be honest. It's just two that I'm particularly, like, very, like, strong-minded over, I guess. Let's boost this to just provide some protection. Nice. Now we do right now. Time for poison toxic sets. Let's go. Didn't get a toxic set there. 3 poisons. Good start. Can we get 10? That's the goal. Reset Timia. Yes. That's fine. We'll do this a sec. That's 5. We'll reset. Oh, we got smite. No. Ah. The smite ruined it. It's not about being salty, ULX. I have publicly said that it's a terrible champion, so if I then go and use it myself, then it kind of devalues my, you know. It surely devalues my statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's so frustrating. The test is ruined a little. What? It's still like 90% ignore defense, right? And technically we have 6% ignore defense and area bonuses, so it's pretty much close to true damage. Let's see the cannon. Ready? Boof. 88,000. Whoa. It's like 166. Was that 170,000? It's so close to true damage, though. It needs to be true damage. It's like 4% defense left, and that's enough to make it a problem. You know, which kind of sucks. Oh well, just let it run through. Yeah, the defense is not quite there. I mean, you say wet noodle, it's still a 200,000 hit. Hits really hard. You know, it's not considering, you know, it's not max HP or anything like that. And he's not in like maximum damage because he's not in any sort of like crazy numbers. Like, look at that, 100,000. Twice. So it's a 200k hit. We'll try it one more time, see if I can get it set up. Level 2 Whisper's A3, mind. I mean, I don't know because Whisper does a lot, but Whisper's also got like much better stats than him. Whisper's got like another 2,000, 2,500 attack on him. I just want to see how hard I can get his A3 hit, basically. Right, let's take Emic out. Emic was a bad idea. Let's just bring someone who can wave clear a little bit more. Without being like crazy wave clear damage. Just someone who's got a little bit more wave clear damage. That doesn't have a debuff on the A1. He's got weaken. Does he do anything on the A1? Oh, you could work. Let's bring you. Let's try this again. Zoof. Okay, that was not as much wave clear as I was hoping for, really. I'm not gonna lie. That's should be fine. Because even just like smack people around a bit. As long as we kill the owl, it's okay. You go kill that. Whoa, look at that damage. Val is like low-key one of my most favorite champions because he is the only one that can really do the same scale of scaling as Ninja. And it's just really fun to see him scale up. Let's just boost that to give us speed. Hex up. Yeah, they're weak now. Boof. Just kill that. As I say, you gotta make your own fun in this game, and that's what we're doing right now. Let's do that one more time so that we get good. Oh, look how much damage that does. 114,000 is so much. Like that's with no decreased defense that he's just done that. I'm pretty sure he's in Relentless as well, so it's not even like ignore defense. Val is just like a monster. Right, okay. So we hit that, and then we hit that. And then we hit this. Then we hit boom boom. Let's just do that to drop some turn meter. Yeah, steal that. Right, and we're good. Now we have poison. We're at 2. 2 poisons. That's the start. Now all we got to do is hope that Val doesn't kill it before we get there, because he will do a lot of damage. Oh no! Decrease speed. Oh, ah, stupid game. I need a poisoner. I'm just wasting energy trying to do this. It's so annoying. Because the problem is he could do that again. Let's try one more time. And then I'm going to stop this. This will be the last one then. Heroic Rim. Oh yeah, he could have been. The problem is I want someone who can wave clear as well, right? Because I don't want to spend all the time on my wave. That was my mistake because I did A2 instead of A1 instead of A3. Had I done like A1 and stuff, I would have been fine. Yeah, I've got Nethril actually. I could have used Nethril. Okay. Yeah, I can't have any other debuffs but poison. That's the challenge. That was the annoying part there. If I do his A2 into A3, it'll be fine. It'd be enough turns to get the poisons up with Akimtum. It's just I made a mistake and I used the A2 first. Oh, Akimtum missed a hex there. It's very rare that happens. Oof. Oh, look at that. We got an extra turn. Go smack some damage. I do have a Xavier. I don't have a Draco, actually, believe it or not. Is this for a mission? No, this is just for fun. I'm having a bit of fun right now. Don't really know why I'm having fun, but I am. The goal is, can we get 10 poisons to do 100% ignore defense on Killer's Bile? That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. Things we do for science and fun. I don't know why we're doing it for science and fun, but we are. I was doing a clan quest, but we got sidetracked. Right, okay. So, learn from your mistakes last time. Do that. Just do that. So, you can just do A1. Oh, do that. Boost. So, poison. Akentum, you have failed me today. So as long as I don't do A2 on this guy, I won't do weaken. Only downside is I've got to get lots of poisons out, and I've only got 2 at the moment. And Akentum is low rolling the heck out of this. Okay. Well, we got 2 meter control. That's good. Come on, Akentum. Stupid rat. Your only job is to poison. You've had 3 attempts at it, and you've missed like 75% of your poisons. Come on now. Right, we got 2 more. We got 6. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. This rat. This rat. Oh, I guess we might as well kill it now. This would have been absolutely fine. Let's pick up more about, yeah. Should we see how hard your Carl can hit now? Boom, 109,000. Boom, 30,000. So every time your Carl... So for people who don't know how your Carl works, his scaling is around how many times he uses an active ability. A bit like the way that Ninja works, right? So whenever your Carl uses an active ability, he gains 10% of his attack. So every time I use an A2, 10% more attack. Every time I use an A3, 10% more attack. So in places like Hydra and Clan Boss, where you can sustain a long round, his damage output is obnoxiously strong. I use him alongside Whisper because Whisper needs weaken. So he provides weaken for Whisper, and then he just goes and does that and keeps smacking and scaling. I've seen him hit 1 million damage on his A3 in Hydra. He's really, really good in Hydra. That's why we like Val. He's a Doom Tower champion. Takes a while to scale. But once he does scale, he is probably the only one that I can think of that can compete with Ninja's ability to output scalable damage. There are others out there, like Skrank does a pretty good job, but even he can't compete with the level of power that Val can do here. Right, one more attempt. I'm determined to try this. And then we'll leave it at there. Alright, boosts. That was just really unlucky because Akentum low rolled so many times in a row. Like, watch this. Boom! 115,000. And that A3, I think, ignores defense. That's why it hits so hard. I could have used Mithrala A1, actually. You are correct. Like, this thing ignores 30% of the defense and also destroys max HP. It's so good. There's many different things I could use instead of Akentum. I don't know why. Technically, if Akentum didn't low roll that time, he would have been fine. Just being annoying. Hex up. Hey, so I've left your vid on Hybrid improvement. Well thought out. Thanks, Adriana. One day, maybe Playroom will invest in trying to actually implement some of it. Yeah, Mithril is one of the best poisons in the game. A1 consistent. Consistent in the sense if there's a single target. Inconsistent if there's multiple targets because it's random. But if you have a single target boss, she poisons better than most champions in the game. Let's just pump some damage on him. I'm gonna weaken out. Okay. Rat, do not let me down again. Come on now. A1. Just A1 this. A1 that. A1. Let's A3 this. A2. That extra chain was not great, I'll be honest, because that means I don't have anything for a while now. I think he's going to do it. Please don't do it for speed. I give up. I give up. Stupid thing. Why am I testing it there? I can just go to Doom Tower and test it. I don't have Calvalax, no. Just go to Doom Tower and test it. What am I doing, like? Wasting energy trying to test something in a content piece. I could just go to Doom Tower to show off what I'm trying to do. Right, so get rid of that. We want Taurus. I know. Things we do. We just want that for 2 meter boost. You bought some survivability. Might as well just put an Arbiter in for this. Okay, so we're gonna get poisons out galore this time. I can do it on normal, it's fine. So, poisons. Stupid rat. I'm gonna really lose my brain with this. Brain, stupid. Poisons. Thank you. There's 2. Dump some poisons out. That was the wrong button. I just need 10 poisons, yeah. But the problem is Gnishak's going to kill them with his bomb. There we go. How many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, well that was on the weak hit target. Let's maybe try it on a target that isn't weak hit. Well, actually, let's just... Who's this? Who's that? And this. 2. Okay, well, we'll take that. We resisted 1. Not the best. Let's do that now. Drop 2 meter yo. Let's drop 2 meter yo. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're 6. Only problem is it's Doom Tower hard, so they're fast, which is the only downside. But you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's gonna be dead before I get to him. I give up. I can't make it work. I need more poisons, and I don't have enough poisons out. Because it can't be poison sensitivity. The idea is you get 10 poisons out, one-shot something. But I haven't got floor to do it, so it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I was messing with that. I got to set up 3, was it 4 more, 6 more of these. I don't have bad Alcazar, no. Yeah. we were doing pretty fine with this setup, weren't we? So it's probably fine. If we just drop on Nagorio, bring him in, that's probably the safest way to do it. Set 6 up here to go, and then off we go. So Saf, did you ever learn about boosted rates for mythical souls? It's a bit of a mystery still. It's plenty of people seem to suggest there's above average. Plenty of other people seem to have not had so much luck. So I think it's a little bit up in the air. It's a bit up in the air. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to get some food. I got more coding and stuff to do. We will hopefully be having some big updates to the champion guides on the website this week. I've been working, trying to get a lot of the mythical stuff updated. We'll get the multipliers from new champs up. I'll probably do a patch notes video this week as well. I feel like I've missed out on a lot of the patch notes just because some of them have had a lot of content on them. Some of them have just been like champions, but there's 9 batch of champions. It's a good idea to go over them in terms of those. So I'll probably do like a bit of a combination of 7.4, 0.5, and 0.6 as like patch notes for a quarter to catch up. But yeah, that's what I'm working on tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on Thursday, I think. Thursday next stream. Have a good evening, guys.
My eyes to see your face, I would shake like a fish in a stream, a chronic search for all I used to believe in. I